Well, hello there.
If that doesn't get you in the mood, I don't know what does.
Yeah,
No, that was so cool.
dude, that was sick.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was super cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed putting that together. Yeah, I really did. That was a lot of fun. So what is up, everybody? This is so crazy because this is kind of a dual purpose 1,000 sub celebration and giveaway, but then also this is for a prequel appreciation. Yes, we are all
We love the
lovers of the prequels.
I'm with it.
What is that? Padawannabe.
I got all my clone stuff out.
Average. You got. Oh yeah, you do. See, what I always like X-Wing is it's like you theme your background with what's ever going on. It's like it's so cool.
Oh yeah.
You guys are trying to like point to each other, like
Yeah, dude, this is totally messing me up.
Just do double.
What's up, Bird Church? And your profile
It's not
picture
happening.
matches really well. Awesome. Well,
Bird Church.
let's go around the panel, introduce yourselves, plug yourself right at the beginning, and then I'm going to talk about the giveaway, and we'll just start jumping right into things. So, Aiden, go ahead, start us off, bro.
Yo, what's up, everybody? I don't really have anything of my own to really plug, but you should definitely, if you haven't already, definitely subscribe to Star Wars Nerds. Like, I don't know why you're here if you haven't. You got to do that. And yeah, just super happy to be here. Thanks for having me on. That's all I really got to say. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, for sure, man. Thanks so much for joining us. We were just talking, like the last stream we were on together, I think, was the prior prequel appreciation. So it's super cool.
And I showed up like 40, like an hour and 40 minutes late to your Anakin one, and I felt bad for that too.
Yeah, that's right. That's funny. Anakin showed up late to Anakin.
I know.
It's all good. You're here though.
I am here. I did make it.
Yeah. What's up, Mighty Hawk? So Strike, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up? Yeah, I'm Strike. My channel is Strike_721. Super happy to be here. I was not on the... Well, I was watching the first prequel appreciation stream, but wasn't on, so I'm really pumped to be on the second one. Can't wait to talk about some good Star Wars. Yeah, congrats on 1,000 subscribers. Like, whew, that is quite a lot. Like, especially for like the time frame that we're talking about. Like, it's insane. So keep growing.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, man.
And you just had your 100, right?
Oh, yes, that's right.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, buddy.
My man's
I'm
been
pumped
going
about that.
places.
Yep.
And you're gonna be eating those hot peppers for your
Yes, for your 100.
Yeah, I was planning on doing that. I actually forgot them at my dad's place.
you
But I'll find.
Yeah, you forgot them.
Go to the
I'll
supermarket. No excuses.
Right, I'll buy some.
Yes.
That was like peer pressure 101
Yeah,
right there.
no, it's coming. It's coming. The
I can't
special's
wait.
coming.
That's awesome. Mr. Matt Cave with your new chair.
Yes. Oh, loving this chair. Got it down here in the Mac Cave. Got the most loyal of droids with me at all times.
Nice.
We're here to celebrate the prequels along with you surpassing 1,000 subscribers, which hopefully one day I can join you in that.
I'm sure you will.
Oh yeah.
Because if you guys like anything retro gaming, movies, and just whatever the heck else, that's what the Mac Cave is for.
Yeah, I love your channel.
Oh yeah, man. And it's sweet. You do like a bunch of watch parties too, and so like all the time. So I'm like cooking breakfast, like watching The Hobbit. And I'm like, this is cool. That's sweet.
Yeah, try to keep some daily entertainment on for people as much as I can.
Yeah, that's super cool. Deep dive. How's it going, man?
It's going good. Congrats on 1,000 subs. Can't wait for next week when you hit 2,000 subs.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, you guys really took off. That was really cool. Hopefully it continues. But yeah, I'm continuing to working on my hidden details in the movies videos and working on a longer deep dive into the world between worlds. So that will be really interesting.
That's awesome.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, we just watched your one the
On
other
A New
night
Hope.
on A New Hope.
That was super cool.
Yeah, there's like a little detail of when the Death Star laser actually hits Alderaan.
Well, you got to tell people to watch this video.
Okay.
Right.
So you
Spoil it.
know generally what
you
it
have
is
to
now.
go to Deep Dive's channel and watch this hidden detail of A New Hope.
Yes. Look at her, man. She's like, hold up, hold up. Hold up.
Subscribe.
Hit 1,000
Yeah,
subs,
you
professionals
have
now.
Christopher, hello. I can never get home before cool streams happen. LOL. Well, I hope you get to stick around because you actually left a really good comment, Christopher, that we're going to bring up later in the stream. So this
Nice.
is really cool. What's the prequels?
I don't
Only
know.
one of the best things
Ooh.
to happen
In
since
Star Wars.
1998.
Yep.
Because anyway,
Yes,
X-wing.
X-Link. Sorry.
Oh yes.
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? I'm X-Wing. I don't really know what I do on YouTube still to this point. I just like talking to people, so that's kind of where we're at. And I don't know if you guys all know this, but I'm kind of a big deal. I think the reason two Star Wars nerds is here at 1K right now is, it's kind of... No, I'm just kidding. You guys are, you and Obsession, you guys are my oldest YouTube friends, and this is just such a joyous day. Such a wonderful occasion to see you guys grow to the point you have, going from the first live stream when we were like, we got 12, we're hoping to get to 25.
Yeah.
And I called you the one thing that you are and still are to this day, criminally underrated. So I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to see you guys growing and succeeding. It's a good day for me.
Oh, thanks, Ann. And yeah, it's a trip because I know, how things kind of got kickstarted for you. Like when you were on Theory Stream and you're talking about wanting to join, and it was like, what's your channel name? And you're like, oh, X-Wing, I've had it forever or whatever.
Yeah.
And I went from my personal and made sure to subscribe and stuff. And then I don't even remember how we got connected, but I was like, oh, this is cool. Like I'm talking to someone else from YouTube. Like
Right.
it just felt so cool. And then all the stuff we've done together, it's been
awesome.
It's been a lot of fun.
A lot of good late nights.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. If ever you watch stuff and you're just, if you watch the lightsaber form video with the three of us, there's probably an hour of content cut out of that just because it was such
It was
a
like
long
it was like
night.
1:30 in the morning.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It was good.
Just getting some dinner. Nice, man. X-Wing Code. Do you know who I think I am? Gosh. The chat's roasting you. Oh man.
I need to make that into a t-shirt.
That's awesome. Okay. Well, we actually do have a giveaway today, and it's going to be a giveaway in the chat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show exactly what we are going to give away. This is really cool. So I know this is kind of zoomed out. I'll zoom in a little bit so you guys can see this.
Nice.
This is the Jedi Council Dark Horse comic series. There's 4 of these comics. These take place about 1 year before the prequels, before Episode 1. And it's following the Jedi Council around. And basically what's happening is you have Sidious basically trying to create some distrust between the Republic, the Jedi Council, and Chancellor Valorum. And so you're kind of getting a little bit of this underbelly, this dark current of what's going on. So yeah, this is really cool. So what's really neat is we're going to actually give away just this kind of collection. So you'll have each issue 1 through 4. And this nice little thing, we'll ship it off to you. And yeah, it's really cool. Been getting into the comics a little more, looking at some of the Dark Horse stuff. I like what they do. It's, it's a shame they don't do stuff like Dark Horse anymore. But yeah, it's cool.
Yes.
It is cool. So what I think we'll start with, actually, as we get going, actually, Padawannabe says, what year did they come out? 2000. So yeah, right after Episode 1. That's when they came out. Very cool. Nice. And Matt Cave, I don't know how you do it. You're like Matt Risman. You're like modding as you are on stream. Good for you, man. But he's dropped links to everybody so you can go and check them out.
Yep, grabbing them for you.
Let's actually do this. We have a few things kind of on the docket for today, but I think a lot of Star Wars fans have been talking about this idea of what if there was a Star Wars what if? This whole idea of Marvel having that, and I know there's just been some talks around some different things, and we were talking like it'd be cool to have like kind of a series where we talk about that. Granted, there's some YouTubers where it's like that's pretty much all they do, and they're fantastic at it. And I don't think I'm gonna be like that. But what we're gonna do is do some kind of prequel what if questions.
Today.
And yeah, just kind of like right here, just on the fly, just kind of start discussing some things, and feel free to disagree with one another
Respectfully.
yeah.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, if you start touching Anakin, then Aiden's gonna get upset. Yeah, the power of the mats.
Oh, that's it. That's okay. Makes sense.
Of the
now.
what?
Of the mats.
Oh
Matt Risman, Matt Cave.
Yeah, your name has to be Matt to be a mod.
Yes.
A powerful mod.
To be
yeah.
a powerful mod, yeah.
Yeah. What's up, Vor? What's up, Mr. Lucas?
Oh, sweet. The
wow.
man
Thanks
himself
the
is here.
maker. He's here.
He's come to say congratulations.
And
I guess that
Darth is
settles
here.
it. That's actually not Mr. That's Lord Gukas. I think I know exactly who that is.
Yeah. So let me do this. Let me pull up the first kind of what if question. I'm just going to actually pull up where, if I cannot boomer this. Here we go. So this is actually from Christopher. He was in the chat. Hopefully you're still here. So Christopher asked this question. Do you think if Ahsoka had stayed with Anakin in the Jedi, then she could have kept him from falling away to the dark side? And obviously he says her leaving in the Clone Wars such an emotional tearjerker. Yes, it was. But that's what let's do kind of a what if for this. So let's just start discussing this. What do you guys think about Ahsoka staying with Anakin, and would that keep him from falling to the dark side?
I lean towards no, actually. I'm not
Okay.
sure if that's the popular or unpopular opinion.
We'll find
out.
I'm actually going to agree with Deep Dive. I think he would still turn eventually, but Ahsoka would be more of that like kind of counterbalance to keep him in line. Maybe it wouldn't have happened so fast, but with Palpatine's grip on him, I think it was inevitable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I also tend to know it wouldn't have changed his turn, because actually I'm kind of thinking about it. The latest What If episode with Doctor Strange, I'm kind of thinking like even if she would have stayed, I think Palpatine would have found a way, similar with Obi-Wan, to like send her away from Coruscant. So
Yeah,
I think
my thoughts exactly.
in whatever way it would have turned out, there would have been a way for Ahsoka to leave Coruscant. So I think that's why it would have just turned out the same way at the end.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Do you guys think the timing? So for those of you who've said no, Strike, Matt Cave, and Deep Dive, do you think the timing would be different, or do you think it would be the same? Like, do you think it would have been prolonged, or do you think Palpatine would have still kind of weaseled his way in to keep that timetable moving?
I think it would have been prolonged at least a little bit. Palpatine definitely was keeping things moving along, but Ahsoka meant a lot to Anakin. I mean, it was, for Anakin, it was like having a little sister or even a daughter at that point, before actually having a daughter. And she was feisty like Anakin. She knew how to kind of push his buttons and knew. If you look at the show, Ahsoka was able to kind of manipulate Anakin when she needed to. Not crazy amounts, but she could turn him like more than Obi-Wan could.
I think it would delay just for the logistical problem of Palpatine getting him away from Obi-Wan and Ahsoka at the same time. He would find a way. But
that was going to be my point. That's where I was going to hop in on that is, and the other aspect I think is no matter what, the Force wills itself to be balanced, right? And wiping out the Jedi and taking out the light down to, basically 2 Jedi and 2 Sith. It was always the will of the Force for that to happen. So I always feel like Ahsoka, could have turned him, but to what end? At some point, he's still gonna do it. Something else is gonna happen. I don't want to call it predestination, but it's the will of the Force for it to be balanced. So something was bound to happen regardless.
Yeah. And, I saw Bird Church brought this up. If Padme couldn't keep Anakin from turning, I don't think Ahsoka could, though she may have delayed it. And even Padawan along kind of the same lines. He has 2 comments here. I think Ahsoka or Padme would have been the only ones that Anakin would have listened to in a state of mind. And he followed it up with Anakin still may have turned, though.
Yeah.
And it would have been something else, right? Even if she stopped him from turning right there and ended up killing Palpatine, then Padme gets assassinated by somebody who's from the CIS or whatever, and he winds up going to the dark side by himself in that way and going assassinating a bunch of different politicians and turning to the dark and taking over.
Yeah.
I was just having the idea of like sort of if Ahsoka would have stayed on Coruscant, if she wouldn't have been sent anywhere else, that Anakin, when he was marching in with the 501st, that Ahsoka could have had sort of like a Battle of the Heroes moment before the Obi-Wan Anakin fight that would have been similarly tragic, and it would have been like this short moment of like maybe even similar to like the way we see them interacting in Rebels, this like moment of them like stopping, realizing this is my brother, this is my sister, but then it just like snaps and they go at it.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think about the Ahsoka Anakin connection there?
I think she could have delayed it, but I don't think she could have stopped it. I think it was Bird Church who said if Padme couldn't, I don't think anyone really could, unless someone could have taken out Palpatine. I mean, but no one knew really to take him out, and that he was like grooming him. So I think Palpatine's hold was too strong, and no one knew Palpatine's plan, so no one could really help or protect Anakin.
Yeah. That's exactly what Vor brought up. Palpatine had a major grip on Anakin. He was going to do something at all costs to make him his. He had been playing with his mind since they found him.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't even think Palpatine saw Ahsoka as a threat at all. If he did, he would have taken her out.
I think he liked it because it just helped Anakin create more of an attachment and more things that he wasn't supposed to be having.
That's a good way to look at it.
That is that is.
What's up, Charlie?
What's up?
What's up, Charlie? Yeah, that definitely, the whole trial thing with like Ahsoka getting expelled from the Order was probably like this moment for like Palpatine, like, oh, now he's going to like hate the Jedi more.
Yep.
So what? Let's kind of follow that up with another what if. I kind of have like 2 of them brewing from this. So one we were talking about actually is, what if Anakin was found as a youngling like most Jedi were? How do you think the course of his life would have gone? These prequels sound really interesting. Yeah, I mean, they're solid like 6 out of 10 for sure.
That's why we have a stream on them.
Yeah.
Mediocre at best.
Yeah.
So kind of this can start touching upon that question on if Anakin's descent and transformation into Vader was part of him bringing balance to the Force, like it was inevitable, or if him bringing balance to the Force was something where him transforming into Vader was actually kind of like a slip or like a major misstep, because then there's that. I know there's kind of 2 camps there. One that's saying it was inevitable, and another saying it was like a detour. If that makes sense.
if he's picked up as a youngling, that removes all motivation for Anakin to act the way he did, because he never would have had the attachment to his mother. He never would have had the attachment to Padme, and so that kind of mommy issue thing is,
yeah,
you know what I mean, though.
Yeah. All of his pain would have been removed.
Yeah, although if Palpatine is still in the picture, even if Anakin's like a
Yeah.
proper Jedi, Palpatine would still. He's a tricky, flexible guy with his plans. He would find some way.
Yeah, he would have. I would almost say Anakin would wind up a lot more like Mace Windu in my eyes. He would be a lot more like a Mace, and then the only thing you could really seduce him with would be power, because I don't think that portion of his personality would have changed.
Right.
Yeah.
Or I mean, Palpatine was a smart guy, so I mean, he could have also like done something like, hey, here's this like really hot senator. Hey, you guys meet. You guys have time.
Matchmaking.
Wow.
Palpatine the matchmaker.
35-year-old Anakin, are you an angel?
Yes.
Oh man, that would be
Yeah,
such
you could also.
that like
I
detour
mean-
show. That would be such a good like little like meme show if it could be like Palpatine setting up some matchmaking.
The matchmaker.
Oh man,
No.
what were you saying? Deep dive?
Oh, just I could totally see it. If Anakin was a proper Jedi, he could have just been the Count Dooku replacement. Just tell him like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, everything's
Yeah.
corrupt. Come be a Jedi and help me. But actually, oh no, you're evil. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
I bet it.
yeah. I was thinking about that because you see Dooku leave the order and you see what he becomes,
Mhm.
and you know, people like Vor again bringing up like Anakin and Palpatine, you know, as Palpatine kind of fulfilling that father role there. Bird Church even brought up the whole point of him being a slave, underestimated by the council. All this stuff, you know, contributing to what Palpatine's direction was. And, you know, Padawannabe even saying he was happy for Anakin to have these connections, more things to take from him,
Yeah.
unleash the hate.
Yep.
But I'm curious, do you guys think he would still have become Vader? Because Palpatine still would have been involved in his life. Or do you think the council would have succeeded in protecting him? Or do you think they would have still failed?
I
And
think
that really
they would have
comes-
still failed. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I think they would have still failed because they still have their ideology that they stick to. They're like, the Jedi are like everything by the book. And the reason the Sith were able to kind of sneak in and undermine them is because they work through their passions, their emotions, and they're doing everything the opposite of the Jedi. So you have two extremes, right? So inevitably each extreme is going to have some failures. But Anakin was this opportunity to meet in the middle, which he didn't so much do. That was more for like Luke to do. But I think if this was the route and he was caught as a youngling, he would still become Vader, but not Vader as we know him in the suit. He would be the more powerful Vader, full-blown Anakin, like top of the. He would be the most powerful Force user ever.
Yeah, and for him to become Vader the way he did, he had to be broken down to nothing and then rebuilt the way the Emperor wanted him to. Because in that moment, he had nothing.
Right.
He had absolutely nothing. You know, it's like military training or something. They break you down to nothing so they can build you up into what they want you to be. So I think if he had had some semblance of himself left and then went to the dark side, yeah, he would be an absolutely scary individual.
Oh yeah, he'd be like Star Killer.
Yeah,
Yeah, basically.
Right.
yeah, Star Killer
Mm-hmm.
times 2.
Yeah.
This is interesting from Hawk's Holocrons. Mom's death could have still turned him had he found out about it later.
That's a good point.
So
Right.
even with that relationship, not having an attachment there, maybe just hearing of his past and then finding out his mom was put into slavery, and you know, Palpatine could have still very much directed things.
Yeah, and he would have.
Right. There's a good follow-up comment from Bird Church. Would the Tusken Raiders still have taken Anakin's mother if he was taken as a youngling? I feel that was a key moment in his dark side brewing. So, I mean, that could have still, or would have probably still happened. And, I mean, the Force visions that he had probably would have still occurred. So, even though he wouldn't have had like the memories of like living with his mom from his childhood, he would like feel the emotional connection through that vision, and that might have still like motivated him to like go seek for her on Tatooine.
Yeah, and I know I've heard people talk about this, and correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think there's like an official canon or legends answer for this, but I've heard people theorize on Palpatine basically manipulating, or some people have even postulated like hiring Tusken Raiders to go capture her and to put her into slavery, like kind of like forcing this emotional response out of Anakin. Do you guys think that's a possibility?
Possibly.
I haven't heard that before, but it definitely does sound like something Palpatine would try.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he was the puppet master. He was pulling the strings all over the galaxy,
Yeah.
and just so many little things. Like, we see all the big stuff in the movies, but he really was involved with more than you would realize.
And he was
Yeah.
very patient.
Yes,
Very patient.
more patient than his master. Plagueis was
Right.
not patient.
I could definitely see that. I think it works either way. Like, even if it was just like a random event sort of deal, and it was just like it was a benefit to Palpatine's cause, or him actually planning this, I could very much see this. Like, even like, I mean, it's not canon anymore, but in Labyrinth of Evil, when they are like kind of like starting to get behind the whole conspiracy, and like Anakin and Obi-Wan are like on this planet and like searching. I think it's like the ship type from Dooku. Palpatine's like, oh, just send some scum there to like handle the situation. So he was the kind of guy that would have like told him to like, hey, you hire those people and like finish this. So I could very much see that.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and even Hawk's Holocron brings up again, like part of that turn would probably be guilt of leaving his mom behind, even though it wasn't really a decision that he made. That's definitely something. Yeah, I think that's very interesting. Charlie here saying in an early draft of Revenge of the Sith, he did find out on the invisible hand as he was fighting Dooku. It's in making of the movie. I think that's referring to these comments that are in the chat about Palpatine doing Force visions and stuff like this.
Can we just all be very happy that Leo DiCaprio turned down the role of Anakin?
Yes, we
Yeah.
did.
Such a different movie.
That's prequel appreciation right there.
Yeah.
We're just gonna look at the list of everyone who denied roles.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
Kurt Russell as Obi-Wan or Han Solo.
Oh, wow.
Those are great audition tapes. I love
Yeah,
those.
they are good.
yeah. It's even interesting seeing like the one with all the kids, and like seeing Jake Lloyd. It's like,
Oh yeah.
man,
So cute.
I'm like, he's like perfect for that role. He really is.
Yeah. He nailed that.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what?
I have a question. I know some of us have done this on the last prequel stream, but not everyone was on, and maybe your mind has changed or something. But real quick, I just want to know, like, what's everyone's, or why does everyone love the prequels? Like, that's why we're here to appreciate the prequels. So why do you love the prequels?
Are we allowed to answer everything?
Yes.
All right,
Everything about them. Love it.
Yeah. Everything, first of all. But especially, I don't know, like the way the whole like connection between Anakin and Obi-Wan. As a kid, I totally saw myself in Anakin. So I mean, that's nostalgia, but it worked. So, but all the action scenes, all the battles, especially the Clone Wars stuff, it always left me with wanting more. Like, and I know I shouldn't. No, but like seriously, like the cinematic stuff that you see in those movies, it's stunning, and
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like it's already over. I wanted more of these battle scenes or just the beautiful landscapes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's why I love it.
Share
Yeah,
that.
that's awesome. The prequels were something I never thought would happen.
Mm.
I grew up with the originals, and just every single time seeing that short scene with Obi-Wan telling Luke about Anakin and the Clone Wars, and just
Mm-hmm.
all those years of wondering what the heck are the Clone Wars,
Yep.
and having all these questions, and then one day in 1994 or 95, we hear this rumor that another Star Wars is being written, and then 5-6 years later, it actually happened, and for me, it was unbelievable because I was right after the fact when I was born. It was, I was way too young, being an infant, to go to the theaters and see the originals. But now all of a sudden, this was it. This was my trilogy to go see in the theaters and have that
Right.
experience, and the midnight premieres and everything. It was so great.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's awesome, man. That's so cool.
so awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah, I feel like it's a tough question because you have to ask yourself, like, what do you mean? What do I love about it? Are we talking about the story? Are we talking about the actual movie itself? Are we talking about the visuals? Are we talking like
Yes.
there's
I think your response to the
Yes.
question
Yeah.
proves.
it's
I
I
mean-
mean, everything about it I love. I was fortunate enough to be born early enough to be in love with Star Wars before the prequels were there, but I was still a really little kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like 7. No, hold on. I was 8 or something when the prequels came out. I don't remember, but I was already in love with Star Wars.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And I was fascinated with it. My older brother, had all the cool toys. And so when the prequels came out, I was young enough that I wasn't jaded or like set in my ways with the original trilogy. So I could accept the prequel trilogy and just soak in, like, holy cow, what's that ship? Holy cow, what is that thing? Like, holy cow, what is this planet? Oh my God. And the amount of world building and universe building that occurred in the prequels was just so stunning to me. Not to mention the saber fights, not to mention the high speed, you have the pod race, and all of the space battles were just like the coolest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And then you had ground troop battles with LAATs, and it was it's too much. Like, it was almost too much. Like, it was just too freaking cool. You know what I mean?
I think we just
And-
saw your heart get overwhelmed.
Yeah, it's palpitating. It's just
All right.
I'm
It was
not
just-
crying. You're crying stuff.
it was life changing. You know what I mean? I got transported to this completely different world, and I was like, damn, I just want to live here forever.
Mm-hmm.
So I love everything and anything about the prequels, even the stuff that people don't like. I just normally end up liking it. And unfortunately, I wasn't around to see Attack of the Clones or Phantom Menace in theaters, nor Revenge of the Sith, because I was born after Attack of the Clones came out, and right before Revenge of the Sith came out, like 2 years. So I was way too young to go to the theater at 2 years old to see Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
That's when I saw Phantom Menace.
I remember my first experience with the prequels was technically the Clone Wars movie. I saw that in the theaters. And at the time, I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. I don't even care if it's like not live action. This is awesome. That's Anakin. That's Obi-Wan. This is so cool. And eventually, I remember, I think it was like 2011, 2010, that they put the prequels, all the Star Wars movies out in theaters. And then they were like, I don't know if it was in 3D or something, but I was able to see them all on the big screen.
Yeah.
And
There was that
super cool.
3D one that was. I wish they finished that.
We only got to see
I
Phantom
know.
They
Menace.
only did
Yeah.
episode
Only did
1.
Phantom-
Right.
And
I
then
was
they
about to
sold.
say, I remember Phantom Menace. Yes.
Yep. And then they sold it.
I
Yeah.
think I just heard
Healy's not
that
pissed, though.
that
I don't know.
yeah,
I'm still bitter.
they did Attack of the Clones and finished it, and there was like a screening in another country. So there is a
It's out
3D
there somewhere.
episode 2 out there. So
Gotta
These Star Wars are the coolest movies to have in 3D, and yet you didn't finish it.
I know.
Right, especially
Bruh.
Revenge of the Sith. I wanted to see
Imagine
that again.
watching that.
Even now, they could just do that, and it would have
I know.
Dude,
filled
they're
theaters.
showing Return of the Jedi at my IMAX.
Oh, that's
That's
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
Nice.
going there tomorrow for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know what I just thought of that would be so cool? Imagine it's called the Volume, right? Is that the thing for the Mandalorian?
Yeah.
Yes.
So imagine like a volume type theater to watch
Oh,
Star Wars
wow.
in, where you can see like
Oh yeah.
just thinking about
Just
the
have my
opening
money.
of Revenge of the Sith, like to see like everything going on around you. That'd be
Dude,
so
the
wild.
duel on Mustafar, and there's like
Yeah,
make
and
it
you're
3D, so there's like lava falling around you as they're fighting.
Battle
Stop
of
it.
Coruscant
Turn
with
up
the
the
virtual reality.
R-80s flying at you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
They can just have my wallet at that point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Take my money.
Take my money.
I'm gonna clip this, and then I'm gonna say it was like a verbal copyright. So if it ever
Yes.
happens,
There you go.
This
the,
is
the
it.
idea was mine.
Send it to Lucasfilm. Here, Kathy,
Cease and
watch your
desist,
step.
please.
I know for me, I think X-Wing and I are like the same age. So I was already loving Star Wars too, like 8-ish when the prequels came out. And yeah, I did the midnights like Matt Cave. I dressed up. But what I love the most about the prequels is they actually make me love the original more. They just
Yeah.
create this
True.
depth, and it just makes me love Luke more. It makes me love the original trilogy more. And normally you don't get that one, like with prequels or sequels, they're always worse. So for something to make me enjoy the original better when it was already my favorite movies, like that's why I love it. I think it was just so well done, and now they're, my favorite movies. I mean, Return of the Jedi is my all-time favorite, but then Attack of the Clones and Phantom Menace, and those are all up there.
They just sprinkled crack on like an ice cream sundae. And they're like, here you go, kids.
Yep.
And beyond that too, like the hype around the prequels when it was coming out was so gigantic.
Oh, yeah.
It was
People
on
so
on
high
the
on the
level of the
prequels.
original trilogy, where it was just like everybody was buzzing. Fast food
Yeah.
restaurants were doing all kinds of different stuff. Like it was everywhere. You know what I mean? And just like being a part of that was so sick. And maybe it's because I'm not a kid. I didn't really see it with the sequels as much. Like a lot of money spent on advertisement and stuff. But like, I feel like the prequels really had like the merch, and they had the restaurants involved, and like just everybody was talking about Star Wars.
Mhm.
The sequels was so focused on like selling their crappy, really crappy Hasbro toys. Because let's be real here,
Oh, dude.
they massively downgraded from like the toys that we got in like
Mhm.
the early mid 2000s. So I remember there was this place in the local mall. It was called like KV Toys or KB Toys,
Mhm.
and I swear they had like
Yep.
the coolest Star Wars stuff like ever.
It was all the red
Like-
packaging with Darth Maul on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The Phantom
Yeah.
Menace line, that was
Dude.
such a sick line.
Those,
just like
those are my
downgraded these guys that
favorite.
like, don't even
Yeah.
have moving joints. They don't
The
move.
hollow communicator chips.
Stupid.
Yes.
Exactly. Like all my Clone Trooper toys from like before the sequels were like all these with like
I know.
bazillion joints. You could move the arms, like
Yeah, you could move
you
the
probably
hands,
could
you could,
move the fingers.
That's cool stuff. And
but then, like,
it's
the
nah, you're
sequels,
just
like,
this plastic thing
Stormtroopers,
that
it's
doesn't
like-
move at all.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
No.
It's like
Yeah,
they
I-
downgraded. Like they like massively downgraded. It's like, why would you do that? Like,
Cheaper.
I love. I am.
Yep.
I'm totally on this kick right now. There are some like auction sites I'm watching for the Phantom Menace, like toy line, because they made so many of them.
Yes.
Bro, it's
There's so
ridiculous.
many out there,
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
and yeah,
I want to hit some of from the comments
Yeah,
because they
yeah.
were saying why they love the prequels too.
there's a lot of good stuff you guys are saying here. So let's turn this over to you guys. So Vor, you said it filled in the gaps we wanted to see, and then you brought up maybe a controversial point with the panel. Said the only thing you didn't like was Jake Lloyd, his portrayal of Anakin in Episode 1.
Mhm.
Fair enough. If you could give a counter to it, I would love to to see what you didn't like. Because I
Do you think
personally,
Hitler was like a terrible child? You know what I mean, though? Like Hitler totally could have been a Jake Lloyd. And
Oh,
like,
I,
hello, Mutter.
so he's not talking about Jake Lloyd
I know.
portrayal. He's saying like a lot of people don't like how you see Vader, and then you see him like, yippee!
I
Like,
love
yeah,
that.
that's
I
what I'm
love.
s-
That's what we
That's the
needed.
best part. Yeah, is like you see innocence lost to
Yes.
establish that innocence as a child. That's what I probably shouldn't have
No
said
one-
the H word on the stream. I apologize.
No one's born as Darth Vader. Like no one's
Right.
born that evil. It's developed. Like it's circumstantial and like based off a lot of
I
different
told
things.
you it'd be
don't
a
come out like that.
controversial.
Yeah. Next comment.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I have
I
a
am
whole
sorry.
20-minute video on this already.
Oh, get them all fired up. Wow.
Wow.
What was
Was that a soundboard or
I
was
was
that actually
getting
in
all
your
fired
apartment
up.
complex?
Yeah,
Okay.
that I just.
That wasn't us.
I don't know if you had one, queued up. I've got some queued up. I don't know.
It's a
Apparently,
podcast.
Deep Dive is streaming on the highway.
Yeah. So we have Bird Church here says the prequels gave us George's vision 100% with the new technology, and it was revolutionary.
Yep.
It added depth to the original trilogy, and the casting was amazing.
Yep.
This is
Yeah.
one of the biggest defenses I have for the prequel when people are like, well, I just don't like it, right? After you get past story and all of this, I'm like, well, it's what George wanted, so it's kind of like for me with Disney stuff, it's like that it's not George,
Right.
and so not saying that everything he makes is amazing, but it is like you at least have to appreciate
It's his story.
The vision.
Yeah.
he knew what he wanted, and whether you like it or not, he really didn't care.
And the prequels supplemented the original trilogy, and I don't want to get into a sequels conversation, but one supplemented the other. The new one just kind of like tears down what came before.
Yeah,
So
for sure. Padawannabe says being a fan of the first movies and having Star Wars was all over forever. When the new series came out, I was just enthralled with everything new to absorb. That's really cool. Yeah, just getting to re-experience that. Let's see. This one was cool from Jolo. Hello. Didn't say hello to you when you popped in. You're a 2005 kid. I'm assuming that means you were
Aw.
born 2005. You got into Star Wars right before The Force Awakens. Ended up thinking it was okay, and The Last Jedi was the worst thing you have ever seen.
Oh, what an experience.
Glad to see the youngins here with us.
Yeah.
Yes, represent.
And then you said, love Phantom Menace story, but the movie is just so boring other than the Duel of Fates.
Does nobody like pod racing?
I love pod racing.
Does just nobody like pod
I will say, as a kid, when I was younger, I liked Phantom Menace, but it was my least favorite at the time because it was slower paced to me. But now, as an adult, I do appreciate it more. So I do understand. Because I thought it was a little boring, but I still watched it all the time when I was a kid.
And
I thought Phantom Menace was boring.
Yeah, when I was a kid. Now I don't. It's definitely moved up my list.
Now we're not
Formula
friends
One
anymore.
laser cars. And the most intense lightsaber fight we've ever seen
Yes,
in
I
Star
love
Wars
the
history.
fight.
It's like
Droids, Jedi.
Naboo N1 starfighters. Like, oh my god. It's
So,
just, dude, the
what-
battle in Gunga.
What I would say
Now I
for
love it.
this, if you can look into the history of Naboo, specifically like the history of Gungans and
It's
the history
fascinating.
of like the colonists, the humans there, and look into some Trade Federation stuff, like even just go on Wikipedia and read some stuff, I think it'll help. Like,
Or check out their video on it.
that's true. We do have a video on it.
I
That's
recommend
helped.
you do that because Wikipedia can get a little dicey.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, Wikipedia.
Yeah, Wikipedia. Yep. But there's some cool stuff where maybe the boring parts.
I just didn't
There's some
understand it as
lore.
a kid. I just didn't understand what was happening.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
I liked the lightsabers, but now when I watch it, I'm like, oh my gosh, like the Trade Federation, like I didn't understand what that was.
No one cared about trade taxes.
Yeah, and so now as an
You're
adult, I'm like, oh,
9,
I understand what's happening a little bit more, and I love it.
I think
And-
the
Go ahead.
Oh yeah. I was just gonna say I think episode 2 and 3 really elevate episode 1 when you see
Yeah.
it like in the grand plan instead of just
Yep.
like why do we care about this random trade dispute in this one
Right.
planet?
Mhm.
Yes.
And it's definitely foundational. I think it really sets up, because there's a lot that happens in between what you see in the Phantom Menace and leading up to A New Hope.
Mhm.
And there's so much that gets covered in 2 and 3 and there's you get to see a lot of stuff behind the scenes in episode 1 with some other cool stuff. But Deep Dive also has a video. If you think it's too political, he did this
That
Oh.
was so cool.
analytical breakdown proving that it's not too political, that it's actually just the same as the rest of Star Wars, which is really cool. This is a kind of a side note, but Vor has a friend who's a general manager at a local theater, and you watch the entire saga on Blu-ray on the big screen.
That's awesome.
That is
That's
so
so
cool.
lucky.
I
Clone
want it.
Wars next.
Oh, dude, that is awesome.
Yeah,
This
What I
this
do
is
down
this is interesting from Bird Church
it did.
as well. It gave us so many memes. That's why you love it. I will say, it's if you've watched us, for a bit, you've known that I'm the one who's on the internet a lot more than Mrs. is Keeley, and so when I'm like, it's almost hard for me to watch episode 3 in particular because I just meme.
We should sit down and do a meme counter video one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that would be so good. Like that Sin Counter. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That channel? Just
Oh,
ding,
yeah.
ding, ding. Show all the memes.
I want to see a cut of Revenge of the Sith where they cut out all the scenes that have become
Oh,
memes.
just
I just watch like the 20-minute boring
Yeah, it'd
version.
be 20 minutes, if that.
I'm with it.
That'd be awesome. Here we are, kind of hopping around a
Yes.
little. All the Happy Meal toys. Yeah.
Oh, there were so many.
There's like KFC toys, I think.
I don't remember that.
There was a time when I had like almost this room full of just Happy Meal toys.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
All the toppers and like I remember they had the little pod racers and oh my god, there was so much stuff.
Charlie said it was amazing being in the theaters when the prequels came out. Episode 1, Darth Maul ignites the saber. Staff and crowd went wild.
Yep.
Episode 2, Yoda pulls out his green saber to fight Dooku. Crowd
Yes.
lost it. Yeah.
Dude.
I'll never forget
So
that.
That was a
That's so
moment when
cool.
Yoda pulled his saber
Yeah.
out. The theater was just like,
Yep.
Yeah. And I mean, I remember with Maul as a kid, I was like, can they do that? When there was,
The two.
two of them. Yeah.
because I was 7 and I saw it in theaters.
Just a little youngin.
Yeah, I actually had to go see it. Well, I had to go see it twice.
Had.
The first time, I had my Happy Meal, had my Phantom Menace toy. My dad told me to leave it in the van, and so I did. But he like clicked the button to close the van door. I'm like, I'm gonna grab my food, so I grabbed it, but then my thumb got stuck in like the closing van door,
Oh.
and so my poor dad had to deal with me. And I went. He's a huge Star Wars fan. He's like, do you still want to go see it? And all this. I was like, yes, crying.
I wouldn't have given you a choice. Like, boy, you better sit down.
And I fell asleep. Like, I was in so much pain, I fell asleep. So I had to go see it again. But I remember seeing that. I was like, can he do that? Can he have like a double-sided lightsaber?
You just did.
Is that allowed?
Yeah. Okay, so here's a follow-up to Vor. LOL, no, I just didn't like the kid actor. So you don't have an issue with contextually the story. Issue with Jake Lloyd. His acting was dreadful. Ooh, heavy word.
Wow.
And he shouldn't have been the choice for Anakin. I like
It's like
Jar
a
Jar better.
8-year-old.
I don't
I was
know.
like freaking 7 years old. Be like, can you just try to act a little more professionally? Like,
Oh man.
I have a hard time like judging a child acting. You know what I mean? Like they're just a kid. They don't know how to act, so they're kids. You know what I mean? That's why it feels organic to me. I feel
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Things
Young
like,
Anakin is really awkward, but he's definitely a kid.
Right.
While being a
things
child.
like,
does that change? Does that change throughout his like teen years and into his early 20s? Like he's always awkward and weird. That carried through the whole way for me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. To be fair, and obviously there's some very, very difficult lines. I think the only stuff I don't like with Jake Lloyd's performance, and it's not even that I dislike it, it just pulls me out for a second because it's when he delivers these like really technical like lines about the Star Wars universe. And they're very wordy. Like for a second I can tell it's kind of like when Mark Hamill would say some stuff in A New Hope, and you're just like, I can't imagine how much time you spent memorizing this line.
Like,
because
like,
it-
what's a? Do you have an example?
I mean,
Yeah.
I
what's your
can't.
example?
I can't even say.
Yeah,
I would
what's
have
your
to, like,
example? Fake fan.
Jake Lloyd. Jake Lloyd.
if you guys really want, while you guys talk, I'll pull it up on a streaming service and play.
Yeah,
something.
I can't really think of one that like I totally get what you're saying, and especially for like the original trilogy, a lot of the times you can hear it in the interviews. They're like, "You want me to read this? You want me to actually say this out loud?" And George's like,
how do
"Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that would be good. Yes.
Yeah.
A huge thing of
That's
Jake
why
Lloyd's
you're
performance
here.
was that it was mashed together. You see in the beginning documentary, they talk about like Jake Lloyd's performance being a lot more organic, but they had to splice together a lot of takes.
yeah."
Where
Oh,
they talk about
mhm.
the other kid who would have just like hit the beats, say the line, and
Mm.
go. But I don't know.
When I
like
saw
Jake
the
Lloyd.
other little kids, I'm like, "That's not him. Nope, that's
Right.
not him."
The
And
only
then Jake
thing
Lloyd
that
comes
I
out,
had
you're
a
like, "Yeah, that's
problem
him.
with-
Yeah,
That's 100%
Annie.
him.
That's little Annie.
That's little Annie." Yeah.
I never had a problem with Little Annie. The only thing that the only minor gripe, the truly minor gripe, like this is truly nitpicky on my behalf, and I understand this, but he looks like seeing the transition from Jake Lloyd to Hayden Christensen, they look nothing alike.
You should
At
see
all.
pictures of me as a child. Like, what
Do you have
what is
proof?
that thing?
Do you have proof?
Oh yeah.
I was trying to flip it back on you. Didn't really work.
No, I totally have pictures. Yeah, 100%.
I don't know. I think it works. Like
think
me as
it
a kid, I was like almost blonde, and now I'm like that shit. No.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really have a problem with that. I don't know. I like
That's why I
small
said
Annie,
it's
so-
very minor, and it's something that kind of bothers me a little. But like, I still really like Little Anakin. Really didn't think he was that insufferable.
And I think part of why they did that age spread as well is because if he were older, it would have been harder to find someone who looked
Exactly.
Yeah.
like Hayden.
Yeah, that'd be a
they were
Oh,
like,
nightmare.
sure. Right.
let's
Yeah.
split that up because then they could follow it up in books or animation or whatever.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do really quick, we have a ton of chat. I'm going to highlight one, and we're actually going to come back to this.
Yes. We have a
Um,
segment.
Yes. It says, I only have 2 gripes with the prequels, dialogue and lack of action during some parts. So we are actually going to come back to part of that. But before we do, I'm going to
Dialogue
catch up.
issues.
We're going to catch up on chat. Hey, but to be fair, he says that the prequel trilogy is still his favorite trilogy. So
Nice.
Better be.
there you go. Yeah.
Fine.
You have a mod like threatening the chat. How dare you?
Should I
Oh,
ban
man.
him?
That's just cool. You got to see episode 1 in 3D and you still tense up during the pod racing scene all these years later.
Yeah, I was smiling at that earlier. That's awesome. It's
Yeah,
such a
that's
good
so
scene,
cool.
dude. Something about the sound of
The visual effects at the time too are like
Yeah.
off the
Perfect.
charts. Like, that was
dude,
stuff
for-
that
yeah,
people
for
never
when
even
it
seen
was.
before. Like,
It
George
still holds up
Lucas,
today.
If he never
Yeah.
like Jar Jar, if we never had Jar Jar, we probably wouldn't have most modern video games today because of motion capture.
I
They kinda,
love
like,
Jar Jar.
Pioneered that technology. So like, how much can you really hate Jar Jar? Like, I just don't get it. How do
just
people
the
complain
chug
about-
chug chug of Sebulba's racer next to
Mhm.
the F1 car of Anakin's when they're next to each other. I just like,
We need music when you get those perfect sounds.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's
all
like-
that tension.
well, you should watch the video on the sound design of pod racing from 2 Star Wars nerds, but the lack
Yeah.
of music in there and just
Yep.
like the organic noise is just
Oh, yeah.
It's so much better without music, I think, in my opinion.
So Vor says he worked at the theater when the prequels were released. It was crazy hearing the fans watching the movies. The midnight opening had so many people dressed up, and for weeks we had costumed viewers.
Yep, that was
Nice.
me.
yeah.
We actually met at the movie theaters.
We did. We both worked at the movie theater.
Yeah,
and
we were
Really?
teenagers.
Nice.
So
Oh, wow.
we worked
Nice.
kind of like 2007,
The Clone Wars
2010.
movie. The Clone Wars movie came out during our era of working in the
Yeah.
theater, but that was it.
So
In the Phantom Menace. No.
no, you're like
Well, the 3D.
8. Oh, okay. I was like, you're like 8 years old working at the
No,
movie
the
theater.
3D. was
And
after.
we
Mama said I had to get a job.
What's crazy? So back before, maybe this is a whole topic I should avoid, but back when certain things were illegal, and Pineapple Express came out, We worked every midnight, so we'd work like the Dark Knight when that came out. That was the craziest midnight. Like, so many people were there, and it was insane. So many people were excited, but
That's one movie I wish I was old enough to go see in the theaters when it came
dude,
out.
it was
Always good.
we got to see it early. We got to screen it.
We got to screen it.
Oh,
Nice.
that was
And
so
then we
awesome.
worked the midnight.
Yeah, that was rough. Literally, we were sent around with a clipboard taking orders because the concessions line was so long. Like, it was insane. But when one of my theater stories is when Pineapple Express came out, literally every single person that came to see that movie, with one exception,
Everyone.
was so high out of their mind.
Oh, of course.
Well, I
They're
mean,
completely
it's Pineapple Express. I mean,
Yeah,
Why
you really
did you even bring this up?
because I was just thinking, there's the guy who was so high, he was like, he passed out in the bathroom, and it was just crazy.
Working at
Oh,
the
boy.
theater is very entertaining. You see a lot of things. Someone pooped on a standee once.
Yeah. So, yeah.
It's nothing like me.
Yeah. Check this out. There's little baby X-wing.
Baby X-wing.
Baby X-wing.
Oh.
See, he's all deformed and weird shaped like his hat.
E.T. telephone home.
Is that like
landed in Texas.
like 10 years ago or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 15 was a rough age for me.
So I see tons of chat. I'm trying to catch up to this.
We're slow.
To this next segment. You guys were, I like the prequels, I swear.
Lies. Deception.
Hey man, you had kind of an interesting start to Star Wars. So just the fact that you are here loving the prequels, man, that's actually
Round of applause for you.
very interesting. Very interesting, man. Very cool. What's up, Star Wars Tonight? Congrats on 1K. I remember when you guys first started. Seems like yesterday. Job well done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it does feel like yesterday for sure. Okay, so what I'm gonna do,
Here's the main event.
I'm so excited
snap.
about this. I actually don't think I told.
No, we didn't warn anyone.
I don't think I told anybody
Because
about
we
this.
just wanted off the cuff.
Yeah.
straight
That's how
from
we
the
were
heart
friends.
Responses.
Yeah. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We are gonna go over one of the most divisive parts of the prequel trilogy. We're gonna talk about dialogue.
We're gonna defend the dialogue.
So,
All
I have a very strong opinion that the dialogue is not bad in the prequel trilogy. I think that there are some lines that aren't perfect. I'm not saying every line of dialogue is perfect, but I do not think it's like people say it's like wooden or it's cringy or like this article, it's cheesy, all of this stuff. And I will say, number 10 is going to trigger all of you so quickly. I'm just giving you a heads up.
Can I throw an honorable mention in before we start?
Yeah, I mean,
Episode 3 on the Mustafar pad when he says, "What things?" But his mouth says like bologna sandwiches.
like at the same, yeah.
That's the one that bothers me. Everything else, no problem.
Yeah. So,
what problems? Just kidding.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go through these. Some of them we may pass up, but because obviously, like the top of the list is where things are gonna get spicy. But yeah, we'll just defend these, and we can like counter a little back and forth if you actually don't like a particular line. But let's do this. So
those butt chins.
What butt chins? Oh yeah. Oh
Dude,
yeah, both of them.
Oh, big time butt chins.
Yeah. So here's the first one. I can't believe this.
What?
It's over
What?
Anakin. I have the
Why
high
is that
ground.
cheesy?
That's not
What?
cheesy. It's the truth.
Honestly, let's
Trash.
just move on. It's
Trash.
I wish I could have like gotten every single one of your responses right there. That was so good. Just to see, let's see what they say about this. So they say this. I was trying to be like a good YouTuber and highlight, but I can't. Okay. This quote has transcended the Star Wars universe to now be used in any situation where someone makes a ridiculous claim. So it sounds like a kid got maybe beat up on the playground and someone said this to him and he's holding it against him.
Oh, dude, that kid deserves a freaking medal.
In the scene, Obi-Wan and Anakin were having an awesome fight, only for it to be interrupted when the former reached higher terrain. Here he suddenly seemed completely sure of his victory as he uttered this line, You won't have any difficulties in finding a cooler quote before someone gains victory. With Obi-Wan bizarrely turned out to be right. As it happened, his higher ground claim really was as true as he instantly won the second round.
Okay, who wrote this article? Because he didn't utter that line. He screams it at the top of his lungs.
Yes.
Yells
And
it
I
out
feel
over
like-
an exploding volcano.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like he's for it here, unless he's just being incredibly sarcastic.
I don't
what,
know.
What website
Okay.
was this
Yeah,
article?
where is
written
this
Is this
from?
a satire?
Screen
Screen
rant.
rant.
Screen rant.
Oh,
Well, that
oh,
explains it.
Okay.
Mhm. So they're mixed. They have some good stuff. They have some stuff that's screen rant. But okay. So this one, it ought to be here,
What?
but it isn't.
How is that even?
How is that
That's
even-
like the most plain
Not a
line
fact.
in all the movies.
Do you know why I hate the
Exactly.
prequels? There's this one part where Obi-Wan says,
It's ought to be here.
But it isn't.
oh,
I didn't
Okay.
even know that was a problem line.
These aren't.
I
Me
love
either.
This was
Their
they had to have
explanation makes no sense.
they had to have
They had
10.
to have 10. That's what
yeah,
And
they
they
were
couldn't-
making quota with this one.
They couldn't find 10, so they had to throw in a few.
we're not even going to address this. This one's fine.
No.
All right,
we're
let's
not.
read this just to see, and then we'll move on. One can do better in attempting to expand their universe than coming up with Jedi archives. Oh, he doesn't even like
What?
the Jedi archives.
What?
Why
And
would
this
the Jedi have
itself
archives?
was one of the lamest things that come out of the prequels.
Was this
However,
article
it was
written by Kylo Ren or Ryan
Oh,
Johnson?
man. That's funny. And this itself was one of the lamest things to come out of the prequels. However, it was made even cheesier when Obi-Wan then attempted to ask Yoda for help in locating the planet Camino.
How do you even get to the line of thought where the Jedi
don't
archives are?
know.
What?
I don't know
How did you
the
even
Jedi
arrive in
archives
on
can
this
be
line when
lamest
you're coming
in
up with the
prequels.
cheesiest, cringiest lines?
Let's
or
get
whatever?
him on stream and
How
then
does
just
this
figure
line
out
pop into your mind.
what else we could use. Like the Jedi don't have archives; they have.
What did he?
Really
Silent
good
Cheetah.
memories, movies.
Oh, and it was wrote this
Stupid.
year.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No,
What's
Interesting.
the
Doing
name?
decimal
What's the
system.
name? I'm gonna find him on Facebook. What's the name?
I'll let you look that up on your own. I feel like, hey, we did a
We don't want to be a part of that.
we did a video about A New Hope, a restoration project, and we got flagged for being a terrorist and promoting them. So I'm not trying to say.
I can't wait until they call me something.
Yeah, I was like, what in the world?
Like it's Star Wars.
Yeah.
No problem is.
Space
That's literally what I
terrorists.
wrote back. I was just like,
Not
I
sure
don't
if
know
you're
if you've
familiar
seen the
with this
video,
iconic
but
film.
yeah. But anyway, I like this. Thank you, man. You got to drag top left to bottom right. You tried the other way. Critiquing my highlighting.
The
Um,
16-year-old got you on the computer, you friggin' boomer.
Yeah, that's true. That's why I'm on Boomer Council. Okay, let me see which. Yeah, you guys are saying boo, all sorts of stuff. Yeah. Oh, okay. There's all sorts of stuff. This is actually like you had to break up our little meme adventure here. It's a really good comment. The prequels are simply just Anakin's hero journey.
Yep.
In A New Hope, we're introduced to this dark villain. He's just pure
Christopher
evil.
knows what's up.
The prequels has you pity him as a boy who just had a tragic life.
Exactly.
It's my
That was
dad,
very
by the
good,
way.
Christopher.
It's my dad,
Is
Christopher.
this really your dad?
No, maybe.
Oh.
I don't know. It's my dad's name. We'll find out.
Wow.
Papa?
Ishmi's dad finally
Dad?
popping up in the chat.
Who's that?
Chad, is that you?
Dad,
Right,
Yes,
I am your
I am
father.
you went out for blue milk all those years ago.
Okay, so here's where we actually start getting into some criticized lines. So, no.
What else
Never,
would he say?
never bothered me.
His vocals
Yeah,
were burned to a
I feel like
crisp.
if he was silent, that would be weird.
I would be very surprised if he was even able to, like, just form words. I don't even care if that's all he could say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he just found out the love of his life died. Like that's an appropriate response.
Bro, he can't
Yeah.
even cry anymore. His like tear glands were burned to a crisp. So if that's all that comes out, I'm not gonna blame him.
They literally like attached limbs and removed
Yeah.
like burnt claw from his skin without him having any painkillers or
I
anything.
know.
So yeah, I think you would have only like 2 words.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This man just went through hell, and now he finds out the love of his life died. Like the whole point.
exactly.
The difference
Why he
between
came out.
Anakin and I is I would have turned around and I would have cremated Palpatine immediately.
He
Right.
tried it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, my thought on this is I've had some discussions like over like chat with people, and essentially what I've kind of come to the conclusion of is you're thinking about his motivation and his drive. It's to keep Padme alive, and he loses everything. Like he's lost his mom.
Yep.
He turned his back on the Jedi Order. The guy that he looked up to as a father just left him for dead.
His best friend and
And-
brother.
Yep.
Yeah,
Like,
and
legit.
he is literally in the lowest point of his life, but he did this all to keep Padme alive. And then he finds out that she just died. I mean, I can't.
From him.
I don't
And you're
think he
shot
would've-
to bit.
Yeah,
This
You-
scumbag said that he could save his wife, and then he didn't even deliver.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm.
and it's just like it does. I can't think of him like giving this like canned line of dialogue where it's like, I don't know. I can't. Can you imagine though if it was like
Well, I don't
This-
like that.
this monologue that he goes
Well,
into?
that doesn't seem fair.
Yeah, like
That's not cool, man. You said she'd be
Okay,
fine.
honestly, I think the no is actually in the wrong here. I think it should have been do not walk.
Yes.
There you go.
there
You know, that's the
go.
only thing I think that might have been really cool to see was in the end moment right there to have Vader turn to Palpatine and try to kill him. And
Try
then
and force
Palpatine
choke
just
him?
like lightnings him a little bit.
Oh,
That
yeah.
basically explains
Oh,
like,
wow.
I have you by a
Yeah.
leash.
Yeah.
Today,
You
that's
can
just
do
too tad.
nothing.
Dude, that would have been so cool. Like if he,
Mhm.
I'm thinking, tries to force choke him, and he's just starting to electrocute him, and then he's screaming no, and it's like,
Yeah.
you get some
Mhm.
like flashes to Padme dying, and
Could have been pretty
his
heavy.
mom.
Yeah.
That could have been sick.
I think Padawannabe here brings up. I think this is like on the nose. No could be very predictable, but not cheesy necessarily. I think people's problem with it is that it just seems it seems too real. Like it's not like this blow your mind line of dialogue. Like
Mm.
realistically, if we were all in the same place, we'd probably say some of the same
Responsible, yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. And it's something that I think that threw a lot of people off too is that, especially for people who grew up with the originals, that's James Earl Jones reprising.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
to get this sudden emotional, like, this from him, it
Yeah.
hit like.
Can you imagine being in the booth with him when he screamed that? Just like,
So
ugh.
amazing.
No, I know for sure, and that's something that like I said, I didn't read comics, but when Theory was talking about it, and that's his fan film. Really, that
Mhm.
first episode is
Yep.
Vader turning against him because he's thinking about it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And one of the things that I like that came from this, a lot of people didn't like this, but I loved it. They reused the no in the special edition of Return of the Jedi. They just kind of alter the tone at the end, right before
wow.
Vader lifts Palpatine and throws him down
Wow.
the thing. They add the no, and I was like,
That's
that
cool.
is
Mm.
beautiful.
It's the same one. Wow.
Because he just kind of like he's looking.
I gotta
back
go
and
check
forth.
that out. Yeah.
In the original, he says nothing.
Yeah.
And in the special edition, he's looking back and forth, and you just hear him quietly go, "No," and all of a sudden he's like, "No," and grabs Palpatine, and woo.
That was such a
Here we go again.
Mm,
It's poetry. It
Yeah.
it
rhymes.
rhymes.
Rhyme.
You know, it's funny because like even though we just see his avatar, I see the wheels turning in Deep Dive's mind. He's like, here's a detail that you didn't know. Oh, that's so good. Yeah, everyone speaks English. That's it. I'm out. That's so funny.
Not nearly diverse enough.
Yeah.
We need
Hey,
more
I
Huskies.
said what's up to Alan. I know some other
What's up,
people
Alan?
had popped in. Felix, what's up, man?
Yo, Felix, what's up, brother?
What's up? EBN coming in here. What's up, Phil McCracken?
Crack.
Oh, what
How's it
a-
going, dude?
Phil
Everywhere,
McCracken.
Phil.
Let's
All right, next line.
this one.
Oh, boy.
Here we go. I got a little glimpse of
Oh
it.
boy.
Here we go. I don't like
Oh.
yeah, you guys all know.
This
Get
is
out
when
of
Vader's
here.
no needs to be on the soundboard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I lead off on this one because you guys fixed this for me forever?
Yep, go for it.
It honestly, it never bothered me. I never gave it a thought. Every single time I watched the movie, it really never bothered me at all. And then I saw everybody else get upset about it, and I'm like, well, what the hell? And then you guys said it perfectly. I'm not going to say it for you, but just the way you described it, I was like, psh, a lot of emotions and a lot of feelings put into a very short amount of words.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, and yeah, we made a short on this one, and essentially, kind of our reasoning behind it is, Padme's talking about, and there's a meme that's gone around a little bit recently, kind of touching on this as well.
We were
But,
inspired by that meme.
But Padme's whole experience was one of wealth and of privilege, and it's like the place she would go to vacation and like relax on the beach and all of this. And so, not only do you have all this inner turmoil that Anakin already has with her, but then when he's at the beach, it's probably drawing back memories of his time as a slave, like how intense sandstorms were. And, he's thinking about his mother and being separated and, how much he had to grow up in such a short amount of time. But then I love, it doesn't finish the quote here, but I love how he brings, I can't exactly remember it, but he's like, and not like here, it's smooth, and he like touches her arm. Like, all right, bro, that was like a
creepy. Love the confidence.
that was a nice little transition there.
Yeah.
All right, I mean, it worked out for
Didn't
you.
it?
Yo,
Yep.
It did work. You guys got game.
Yep.
Sort of, yeah.
I gotta go, unfortunately.
Yeah, no worries,
All
man.
right.
Call for work.
Have a good
I
one.
want to go in, but like I can't just like neglect my job. So
Yeah.
thanks so much for having me on. I hope I get to come on again one of these days to talk some more Star Wars. Really appreciate it.
Heck yeah,
Yeah.
buddy.
You guys are the
For
best.
sure, man.
Appreciate you
Bye,
guys.
Aiden. Thank you.
All right.
No worries. Peace out. Straight.
See you later, man.
Next Wednesday deep dive, Matt. Have a
Good to
great
see
day,
ya.
guys. Or rest of your stream or night. I don't know. Peace out.
Wherever you are, yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any other thoughts on this?
Just
I have
really
one
quick,
more
because
comment on
I gotta
Sam.
jump out. I gotta jump out for just a second. Did anybody else notice that her hair looks like a xenomorph from Aliens?
That's one of these things now I can't unsee it.
Mhm.
Oh,
You're welcome.
Oh,
See you
no.
guys in a minute.
You can't just leave on that. I was gonna say though, I feel like a lot of the time people totally ignore the context. Like people joke about it, like Anakin's just really awkward at flirting and just randomly talks about how much he hates sand. But actually, it's like Padme talks about how she likes sand because they're in a sandy place, and then Anakin's responding to her like it's not just super awkward and random. Like they're just having a conversation about where they are.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm on the trend with X-Wing. Like when I watched it, it never bothered me. It made sense. And then when I I started out with watching the prequels and then the originals, and like when I at some point started to be online and like looked at YouTube videos of people like trashing on it, I was like, why? Like, and then I was starting to think about it, and I mean, it just makes so much sense. Like the thing is with Anakin, I mean, he literally lived on a sand planet,
Right.
and there weren't really that many positive memories that he gained from this experience. So all the tragedy of like being a slave, all the tragedy of having to leave his mom and having those dreams, all of that is like just combined in this one object, sand. And when he sees it, it reminds him of all of that instantly. So I don't know. I always found it pretty weird, dumb.
It's kind of like it in a weird way, it kind of connects in my mind with the scene of Omega seeing dirt for the first time after leaving Camino in the Bad Batch. It's like a similar vibe to that. I like those kind of moments.
Yeah. Anakin's opening up here. He's opening up emotionally to her, while at the same time he's making his move. He's being pretty slick right here. He brings the emotions right, and then he also brings the humor right in. He's like, "Oh, I got emotion, and it gets everywhere." He's like, he drops that one-liner in there. He's like, "I'm gonna make my move in a second here."
Yeah.
And thinking about context, like Deep Dive said too, if I remember correctly, like just prior to this, she's talking about how as a kid she would swim in the water, and then she would go on the beach and she'd let the sun dry her off and go back and all of this.
Friends.
And and it's like it's two different worldviews coming together. And I don't know if you've ever like met somebody like that who's basically talking about the way they grew up, and you're like, wow, like that is a very different life
Mhm.
than I've had.
Mhm.
And it's usually talking to somebody who's of immense wealth. Like there's a friend of ours who's actually like a really good friend, but just the way she was raised, like her mindset of lack is just very, very different.
Mhm.
Like her mindset of lack is my like rich, basically. And so just sharing about like not, and there's obviously always like real difficulties, but that's kind of what I've seen with this line is that it's like they just come from two different worlds. And she just doesn't understand. She's just been royalty. She doesn't understand what it's like to be a slave.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the next line comes up, if it's another quote where he rubs her skin.
The smooth, I don't
Yeah.
think it's in here.
Okay.
I think they left it out.
Well, I know a lot of people say that's creepy, and it's like, I don't think so. Like, it's not like, I mean, he just touches her arm, and she's well aware that he's into her, and he's just continuing to put moves on. Like, I don't see the problem there either. I don't think it's creepy at all. It's just like when someone
Anakin's like, don't you think, or wait, what was it earlier? Don't you know who I think I am?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Well, and like, let me ask you this. Let's say, so like a vacation we went on a couple years ago is we went to Hawaii, and remember there's one part of the beach that was really rough sand.
Mhm.
And then there was another part that was actually like the smooth sand where
I do
not many
remember.
people were there. Let's say we're hanging out on the beach and it's rough sand and we're like, oh, we don't really like the rough sand. I'm like, yeah, me neither. It's not smooth. And I'm like rubbing your arm. Like, I feel like, I'm like, bro, that is such a solid
Well, yeah, we're married. I'd
transition.
be like, yeah.
Be like, home run, baby.
Yeah.
Like,
I approve.
and I think people miss out on that context too.
They're
Like,
probably all single and don't have girlfriends.
oh man, now you're
Shots fired.
now you're pulling out the
Okay, good stream. Bye.
So I like this. Charlie saying, I will burn Screen Rant to the ground. Nothing wrong with this scene, as well as Anakin was a slave to a sandy life compared to a water drop of a 10-year-old dream angel. Mic drop. Good.
Mic drop.
Smooth.
Yeah. Okay. So let's keep
Next.
going here. This one. Power.
What?
Unlimited
What?
power.
Okay, I'm really having a hard time even thinking that is.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know there's a problem with this
So
either.
what I've actually heard people say it just felt like this like over the top, basically, like, because he's releasing his force lightning and they're saying it's just like over the top,
But
like
Palpatine is
maniacal.
over the
Palpatine
top.
is over
Yeah,
the
he's,
top.
Yeah.
he's like
That
the
is the
campy
whole
supervillain.
Thank you.
Yeah. And this can actually bring up a follow-up question. But I've always thought like he had to live in the shadows for so long and he had to restrain himself.
Yep.
And this was the first time he finally could just
Be himself.
fully in the open,
Right.
just let
Well,
loose.
yeah. It's
Yep.
like when he's
This
talking
was the
to
Force
Yoda.
Unleashed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
basically.
real.
Mhm.
Bingo.
You hit it 100% perfectly on the head. That really he has had to hide this. I mean, Higo Damas told him you have to hide in plain sight. Everything that you feel has to be deep inside. And really, that moment he kills Higo, and not much longer after we have this moment, this is the full realization he is, and I don't want to say it, all the Sith at this moment, right?
Too soon.
Wow.
Too soon.
You know what I mean? But it really is. It's a culmination of everything and everything that he's harnessed and studied and the hearts that he's eaten and the people that he's killed. It all comes to that moment, So
Right.
I'm 100% about it.
Right. And this moment, he's all like, I won.
Yeah.
Won. You're
Yeah.
all not worthy in that sort of sense. I have the high ground just to
Yes.
put that one in
He
here,
wiped out the
but-
Jedi, bro.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, like, and
He's been-
as we said, Palpatine is all about being over the top. He is the
Mhm.
most powerful being in the universe at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's been like secretly winning at everything for so many decades. At some point, you just have to brag to someone.
Yeah.
Now he can let everyone know.
It's Charlie Sheen moment. Winning.
Yeah. Winning Tiger
Dude.
Blood.
I totally forgot about Charlie
Me
Sheen.
too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I mean, also like the whole scene with Yoda. I mean, Yoda is like this embodiment of the most powerful light side user, at least for that time. So like him just being like, yeah, look at you, you lost. Like I won, you lost. Dumb deal.
Yeah. You know, I'm not to just keep. I try and avoid this topic as much as I can, but this is I'll just say this and then we'll move on. I wonder if there's a list on Screen Rant of the worst sequel quotes because
I'll make it.
there's
The entire script.
I don't
You'll
know
make
if it's
it?
like
Probably
if
not.
it's like
Will
I'll
they
make
hire
it.
you?
I'll
or-
make it tonight.
Okay,
and send it to him.
but then you have to watch them.
Disney's probably going to
Don't
take
worry,
it
it
down.
all lives rent free up in this old sweaty's head.
Oh,
I just blocked them out. I don't
so-
really remember
Boy.
anything.
I just looked it up, and the first article that came up was Screen Rant, the sequel trilogy's 10 best quotes.
Oh.
Okay, we got to move on. Move on.
Oh my
Move
gosh,
on.
I feel so defeated.
We love the prequels. We love the
Okay.
prequels.
So here's the next one here.
I
am
love
the
this.
Senate.
Oh, come on. That's a great
How?
line.
Okay, so
I'm with Charlie now. We're masking up tonight and we're burning it down.
okay, so let's read this
Wait,
one.
first X-Wing has to say it like him.
I am the Senate.
Yes.
There you
Wow,
go.
that's great.
I am. I've been
do
thinking.
yours.
Just smoke cigarettes for like 16 years and then
I love how all their comments explaining why they don't like Palpatine quotes are just, he seems too much like a supervillain, which he basically, that's like the whole point.
Did you see the movie? He kind of is.
Yeah.
All right, do it.
I am the Senate.
It was
So
good.
cute.
So
I can't
cute.
do
I'm
what
glad.
the one I can't do is him when he's not being Sidious. You know,
Oh yeah.
are you threatening me, Master Jedi? Close.
Yeah.
Close.
Close.
So-
I'll work on it.
So we'll read that, but I think these two go in tandem well for their mindset because they said this. If I can, okay, wait, I got to remember what Jojo said.
Start at the top and then go down.
We
Left
got
or
the
right?
lame Darth Sidious on this occasion.
Lame?
You
Yes,
can't use
yes.
lame Darth
Oh
Sidious
my
as a phrase.
Since when he had Mace Windu on the ropes after Anakin attacked him, he started screaming about power and seemed to forget about the whole idea that Anakin wasn't supposed to know that he was actually the bad guy. Have you seen
Have
the
you
movie?
seen the
Anakin
movie?
definitely knows he's a bad guy at that point.
Instead, Sidious simply screamed about power like a generic villain, even though he was hiding this fact.
He wasn't hiding at this point. He
And-
was full blown
Linda, listen, listen.
Even
Have you
beyond
seen
that,
Star
yelling
Wars?
power
Can
is
someone
literally
please
showing
play
Anakin.
the Obi-Wan GIF, Visible Confusion?
Oh, I
Yes.
know.
Ugh.
So here it says here. I'm starting from the bottom. Seems to be working better for me, but a reason why the prequels are considered lame was because
Who considers the prequels? lame?
this guy was because I think I'm finding out as it goes that there's certain subreddits he's joined,
Yes.
and he is
And he hasn't actually seen the movie. He's just pulling what these people say.
nice pandering to a certain audience, I think, and trying to trigger another, and it's working.
It's working.
It's working.
Okay, so it was considered lame because the dialogue chose to go for grand declarations than actually making sense. Oh. Here, even when he was masquerading as Emperor Palpatine, this guy was a walking meme factory. After being confronted by Mace Windu that he was to be arrested, Palpatine scoffed at the idea of anyone capturing him, which was when he openly claimed that he was the Senate. This was one of those lines which made you wonder if Palpatine spent a little spare time flicking through a book entitled How to Be a Supervillain for Dummies.
Oh,
He didn't
my.
flick through the book. He wrote the book.
I'm gonna do.
Yes.
Okay, I don't want to get in trouble, but I want to beat this person up.
You remember when I wrote in chat, I can't promise no disintegrations? Yes, I can't promise no disintegrations.
You have no business writing Star Wars articles.
He was over the top back in Return of the Jedi. Ian McDermott
Yeah.
was perfect for this.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
primarily a stage actor. You know,
Mhm.
you get that over the top presence when you're on stage. You kind of have to.
Yep.
So he was perfect, especially for these moments when he just
It's a space
unleashed-
opera.
it's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And there's, that's such a good point with when
Yeah.
when he brings up when he says good, good.
Mhm.
And it's like,
Good.
I mean, I don't think anybody's going to be writing like, the cheesiest lines of the original trilogy. Like, no one's going to
Mm.
touch it because of the
can't.
cultural phenomenon it was. But then you take this very, like what Charlie said, that this is the first time he lets that Sith voice open in the public. It's like, I like to think that with his physical appearance and with his voice, that's what it actually was. And it's like he's having to restrain and he's having to act in front of all these people. And so
I do feel like, though, in Revenge of the Sith, when we first get him, he stands up and Anakin's kneeling. They did. I almost feel like they synthesized his voice a little too much. Like they added too much reverb on the bottom of it. If you go back and listen to it comparatively,
It's like artificial.
it's got a very kind of sound to it.
I'd have to listen again.
Yeah.
Like a newly Sith undercover voice track.
I don't know. Yeah, it's just got kind of an electronic feel to it, which is not necessary because McDermott just nails it.
Yeah, he's a great actor. This is good though.
Yeah.
I Am the Senate was very much like a mob boss quote for me, like "The city is mine" or the ever popular "I am the law" by Judge
Yeah.
Dredd.
Yes.
Dude,
Exactly.
Because-
simply possessed by power.
Yep.
I think what Deep Dive said is so important. It's about context, and he got Chancellor Valorum out, and he's been pulling strings, and he's the one really who's been more and more so getting the Jedi Council involved with affairs of the Republic, at a higher degree during the Clone Wars, and then when they come to arrest him, that's when he decides to say like, I'm in control of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have no power over me. And so, like, I just don't get. Again, I don't understand how that's. I feel like you're reaching
Yeah.
to try and make this.
Exactly. And
And if you read the books, okay, when he got abducted from Coruscant during the Battle of Coruscant, it was like they were like, if he dies, the war is over.
Mhm.
And the CIS has won because he was the Senate.
Mhm.
well, yeah, I mean the whole thing, one of the probably most important scenes in Attack of the Clones is when they give Palpatine the special powers to
Yeah.
authorize the clone army.
Mhm.
That is kind of the beginning of the Senate just keep on going to give him more powers, till the point where honestly he doesn't even need the Senate. The Senate is like, good idea. Yep, let's do it like that.
Yeah, you can see it in his face when they give him the powers. He's like, I accept this new responsibility. But you can see him just like, I got you.
He's
Well,
loving
exactly.
I
And I mean,
got you.
Fighting
in
Yoda,
episode
he says,
3,
"I
they
waited
have-
a long time." Like, oh yeah, sorry, Strike. What were you saying?
no, okay, I'm finished. Great. In episode 3, even Palpatine says yeah, when the war is over, I will give back my powers. The Senate couldn't even do anything if they wanted to. They literally need to hope that Palpatine is going to give back his powers for the democracy to work properly again. So I mean, they're just in a really horrible situation.
Mm-hmm. And even thinking about this whole over the top, I don't know, excuse or whatever kind of pinpoint that they keep bringing up. What I think about is even when he makes that that address basically to the galaxy and before the Senate and everything, saying that this attempt on his life has left him scarred and deformed and all of this, it's just you see so much that's exactly the way he chose to communicate, and it captivated people.
Mm-hmm.
And
He lying.
mm-hmm.
I think I cut off deep dive. Sorry, what were we saying?
Oh, I was just saying about when he's fighting Yoda at the end of Revenge of the Sith, he says, "I've waited a long time for this." Like he's like so excited just to like have the chance to actually fight
Yeah.
Jedi.
Yes.
My little green friend.
You beat me to it.
And see, that's where it's like this is definitely from memes as opposed to like like you don't see that line on there, you know.
Yet.
Yeah, true. We do have more, but yeah. Anyway, okay. So this one, from my point of view, the Jedi are evil.
What's wrong?
How
what's wrong
is
with
that?
this?
Okay,
Well, I
can
know
know.
it-
I can chew into that one.
I
I
know
can do
That
it.
one I can kind of see.
I
Yeah.
know.
don't.
Everything I've heard about this, we can read his reasoning. Everything I've heard about this is like more so on Hayden Christensen than it is on the line.
Oh.
But it says Anakin's stilted delivery of this awkwardly and naively phrased sentiment was hopeless.
You pompous shit.
Was hopeless before it even left his mouth. While there's no doubt that the battle on Mustafar was cool,
What?
this quote
Cool.
brought things back to being par for the prequels.
What's happening?
This line on its lonesome practically sucked out all the intensity from the fight. It was as if he was making an argument during a high school debate.
What?
This guy is very good at what he does. And it seemed Anakin didn't figure the fact that they were fighting with lightsabers over a pit of lava, didn't articulate what his point of view was.
Is it trying to sound smart while being dumb? Is that what he does? Because yeah, he is super good at it.
Fellow nerds,
He's
it's time
He's
to
trying to
execute
trigger
Order
us.
66.
it's like he knows exactly what to say.
To rile us all up.
Well, I get from my point of view, the Jedi are evil. I don't believe that from Anakin when he says that. I think more so he's trying to say, from my point of view, the Jedi are blind.
It's like
I think the reason why his way
Or
of saying
afraid.
that is so extreme is because the person that Palpatine is fighting against is Mace. I think if it would have been a different Jedi, he probably would have said it differently, because Mace was just this dick that constantly told him like dude, you're the chosen one, but yeah, just wait, you go there, you play in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
So I think like just like his personal despise of Mace probably helped with him just viewing it a bit more extreme than he probably would have normally.
Mm-hmm. You know, I'm even thinking about obviously you're bringing up Mace, and you have this tension that's there because there is this natural tension between Anakin and Mace. And Anakin's seen a lot of stuff that he doesn't agree with.
Mm-hmm.
He's very upset at Kenobi.
Mm-hmm.
And there's times where he's for him, but there's a lot of times where feels like he's holding him back. He's not granted the rank of master.
Mm-hmm.
And Palpatine, up to that point, he didn't see any flaws in Palpatine. I guess let me wheel this back. In my mind, I'm thinking about when they asked him to spy on Palpatine and report. He hasn't really seen anything to warrant that. And so he's like, how dare they? Why would they ask this? And he's starting to be like, he's fighting for the Republic and for the galaxy. And so it's very much, there's this brainwashing.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I think when basically he's told about the Jedi way this whole time, and obviously there's the conflict with Dooku, and where he kills Dooku, but then when he sees that Mace is ready to just kill him, and it's like all of this. So I can see how in his mind he's like, I've given up on them. And he's like, no, like they've not only screwed me over, they've screwed everybody over. That's endless war, and then again, he's not really going to stop for like a reasonable debate. It's just going to be this.
Also, though, it's not inherently evil, right? I mean, everything you just described is not inherently evil, just misguided.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of saying, from my point of view, the Jedi are evil, you could have said, like, the Jedi are blind. They've been misguided. they're consumed or some line in that way.
Mhm.
But
I feel like this line isn't really to Obi-Wan. This is Anakin telling himself, I have to think the Jedi are evil, otherwise everything I just did was really bad.
Trying to
Yeah.
convince
Oh.
himself. You're
Yep.
so right. dude.
self-validation, dude.
Yep.
Good
Yeah.
shot.
That's
Yeah.
good.
That is really good. I like how Charlie even says, well, from his point of view, Anakin or Vader, not a fan of the Jedi, makes sense. Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
I think Deep
Oh.
Dive just like changed it for me for sure. Deep Dive just totally changed it for me. That's 100% like
Yeah, that was really good.
super self-validation.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've actually never thought of it that way. That's a good way to think about
If
it.
he really believed it, he wouldn't have to say from my point of view. He's trying to convince himself that's his
Right.
real point of view.
Yes.
You know what he
That
should have
is
said?
true.
From a certain point of view.
There you
Obi-Wan
go.
would be like, oh, let's
Actually,
sit down and
that
have
is
a
what the
chat.
Star Wars What If should be named, from a certain point of view.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Think about
Oh, yeah,
what's
true.
going on inside of Anakin's head. He doesn't even know what his own point of view is because everyone tells him how to live his life,
Yeah.
except
Mhm.
Palpatine. Palpatine's manipulating his life,
Yep.
but Palpatine's never telling him how to live his life. Everyone else is like, you got to do this and do it this way. So his head's a bag of cats, man. You can smell
Right.
crazy on him.
That's a
Mhm.
great point.
Yeah, and it really plays in. Like even Padme tells him, like we gotta go. Like we can still like escape. And he's like, not again. Someone who's telling me what to do.
Right.
Mhm.
He should have taken it.
You know, I do agree with this related right here. 5 Ways the Mandalorian is better than the new movies. Okay, cool.
Well, then there's the in parentheses.
5 Ways it's not true.
Well,
I
yeah.
did block that out. Okay, number 3. Good Anakin, good. Kill him.
Why is this
Do
even
it.
on the list?
I'm
Yeah.
confused.
Very normal line.
Yeah.
It's also
I'm
not even to get. These are separated. These
Mm-hmm.
words.
But they did.
And why is Palpatine getting all the
Also-
hate?
They
Yeah, I don't
did
know.
put
Doesn't
the
like
ellipses here, so I guess there's
Mhm.
some. Let's just move on to. I feel like they've just been
They just hate Palpatine.
Hey, at least we gotta give him props. They're not hating on Hayden Christensen only.
Yeah.
That's
True.
true.
We still got
Not
two
to mention,
more.
we haven't seen Jake Lloyd. Watch, he's going to be one of the other two.
Yeah.
Be number
Okay,
one.
so this one I've seen.
How?
I've never understand.
Do you know the story
This.
behind this one?
Is this where he's having a hard time
the-
delivering it?
Oh,
Ewan
because
couldn't
Ewan
even
is
say
like-
it. He covered his
Yeah,
mouth
yeah.
because he kept laughing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But that is not.
I would have structured this differently, is all I can say, but I don't hate the line.
Okay.
Why was it so hard for him to say?
Because he
That was
was
funny.
like constantly starting to laugh.
What's funny about it?
He's
I
like,
don't
He was a
understand.
memer before it was cool.
Because
Yeah.
a lot of these lines, you have to imagine they're in front of a blue screen. They're not actually in Star Wars, and stuff is just like, this sounds ridiculous. It's the same thing with the original trilogy.
Well,
And they're
and
like, oh,
also,
this
I mean, you
spacesuit's
don't
got
know,
247 turbo lasers. They're like, what the what?
right?
I'm not
And
reading
also, I
that.
mean, you don't know what happened like on set. Like that, maybe they talked about something in that context. It's funny, like stuff like that happens. So.
Could be anything.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
what's our friend have to say?
Okay, so I read it. I do not agree with this. I think this is. I've seen people complain about this line, and they've more so complained about the delivery of it, as opposed to like the line itself. But anyway, he says there's no actor in the world who can make a line such as this sound top quality, and even Ewan McGregor seems to be hiding a smile as he delivered this line due to its cheesiness. I think what Strike said, we don't really know what happened on set, and all
Right.
this, but it's strange how Star Wars had children being called younglings. That's the key right there. He does not like younglings. Doesn't had them called younglings instead of going for the common word,
Child?
children, I guess, and pairing it up with something like security
younglings.
holograms.
Because
Padawan, younglings,
they're not
master.
children, they're
Like,
Jedi
that's just-
younglings. It's like a
Well,
title.
younglings aren't Padawans, and Padawans aren't Jedi, and Jedi Knights aren't Jedi Masters. Just like foundlings
Well,
and
also like
Yeah.
so Padawans. Oh, so teens. Like, yeah, well, they are teens, but they are Padawans. It's like they're students.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say like teens go to school.
well, you're not a Padawan until you're a learner from a master.
Right.
Right.
And you're a youngling before that.
Yeah, this is just
Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
I don't like it.
crazy.
I
Yeah.
don't like it either.
Are
He's
you
not
not
a-
to see number one?
So here's
Oh,
this, and then
come on.
I have a follow-up
Mm.
one.
Oh,
Believe
bro,
me,
that
I
was
wish I could
that
just
like
wish
that
away
hit
my
me so
feelings.
hard when I was a kid, bro.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I didn't
Mhm.
even know this one was a troubled line either. I'm so
Yep.
confused.
What did I tell you guys that she stays off the internet?
I
and-
do, and I should continue to.
Yeah.
Because
No.
it's just
It
making
was like
me
the
mad.
most relatable
I
line in
just-
all of Star Wars.
I just stopped trying to understand at this point.
Okay, so it says it's incredible how this line not only got written but made it all the way past editing to being uttered and ending up in the film itself.
There's
Dang.
another word for speaking something other than uttered.
This
Yeah, that's just
guy
great.
is asking for it. This guy is asking for it.
There were a bunch of other dopey lines from Anakin. I'm so glad Aiden's gone right now. He would have been. There's a bunch of other dopey lines from Anakin preceding this one, such as him being tormented. Yep, that's another one. I'm surprised it didn't make the list, but him being tormented by Padme, among others. However, it's the fact that he made the claim that makes it so funny, as it slipped by Anakin what the concept of making a wish was. And technically, his first wish was answered right. Perhaps he should have been happier. This quote proved once and for all how the relationship between Anakin and Padme was more comedic rather than romantic, thanks
What?
largely to the dialogue.
No.
Okay, with the words of Charlie, for the love of Tom Cruise, who created this?
Oh boy!
You're not supposed to put a period and then a capitalized and after it, by the way, but you should probably learn how to speak English. Jerk.
And what's up, Lord Crit? Never
Lord
too late to
Crit.
the party. Yeah, what a time to come in.
What I don't get is it's very obvious throughout the entire movie that they're not supposed to be together, yet he has feelings for her, and there's torment there because he's not supposed to act on them. He's trying to wish them away because that would be easier. Like, I don't understand the problem.
Mm-hmm,
No.
mm-hmm.
Okay, serious question. Did a female write this article?
Yeah, probably.
Because
the
if-
name
the
was
name-
made it unclear.
If
We can
there's
look them up.
if a guy wrote this article and then put that there, I'm gonna go find him and beat him up.
Yeah.
Because this is the hashtag movement for, like, boys feel too, right? We do
Exactly.
feel. Like, believe me, I wish I could just wish away my feelings. Like, do you have any like, I've done that so much in my life. Like, I don't want to be emotional. So this was
That's a
such a
hard-hitting
beautiful
moment.
line to me. You know what I mean? Like, I wish I could just wish away my feelings and focus on what I have to do, but you're pretty and I'm crazy about you and I love you and it drives me nuts. Like,
Oh, average roll.
what's 100% true?
Damn, we can't be children. Officially.
Well, deep dive. Do you have?
Well, real quick, I really liked what X-Wing was saying though.
yes.
Yeah,
That's
d-
very
I-
good points.
It
I
is.
agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is a good point.
But I know deep dive has to go.
Yeah, deep dive. You have like less than a minute until you got to bounce. Do you want to say some final thoughts on this and plug yourself, and then we'll honor your
Yeah,
time
well,
commitment?
Final thoughts on this. Everyone hates on like almost every single Anakin line from every single movie because they're
Mhm.
awkward, but that's literally the entire point of the character is he's just an
Right.
awkward boy trying to grow up and not doing a great job at it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
These
So
must be
good.
all popular kids making fun of Anakin.
Mm-hmm. Who've never said an awkward thing in their entire life.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, deep dive. If you want to, for those who maybe came in a little later, what's your channel about? And we'll make sure to get a link to it in the chat.
Yeah, so I do Star Wars analysis. I have hidden details in the movies series, and I'm going to take a look at the World Between Worlds soon in a longer video coming up. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
come check out some Star Wars analysis.
Awesome. Yeah,
Nice.
and you make great videos, man. I really, really enjoy them.
Me too.
Yeah.
They're super cool.
Definitely.
Cool, man. Well, thanks so much for
Yeah, thanks for
joining
having
us. Yep.
Congrats
All
on
right,
1,000 subs. See you around.
Yeah. Thanks so
you.
much, man.
Have a good one, Deep Dive.
Deep
Hey,
dive.
buddy.
All right. So I think the only other line I can think of, and then we can actually move into just like another little portion before we start winding things down.
We'll probably end around 5, but we need to do the giveaway too.
Yeah. So there is the line. We've actually had someone, like, I don't know if he's watching this now or later, but someone, the Cambot, he's brought it up a few times. This line of Anakin saying, "You're the way I always remembered you in my dreams," or something to that effect. And I've actually seen online a lot of people talk about how it's they write it off as being creepy or these different things. So what would you guys say is kind of like a defense or a counter to that? Because I mean, I personally don't think it's a creepy line, but the whole point of this was trying to show why these lines of dialogue are actually good lines of dialogue. Obviously, we did get a little fired up in the in the review of this article, but for that line of dialogue with
That last one just peeved me off so hard.
I mean, there were dopey lines, and oh gosh,
Yeah, but with the your justice, what was it again?
Something about like
You're exactly how I remember.
You're
you in my
exactly
dream.
how
Yeah.
yeah, there you go.
right. Like I always, like with most of these or like all of these, I never had a problem with those. But like I think it's not really creepy. Like basically, I mean, what he's saying is like the last time he saw Padme, or from the moment on when he saw Padme, he has been thinking about this girl, like the entire time frame until Attack of the Clones, like always. Like he has just been like I love this girl, and like I want to see her again. I just can't get her out of my head.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, honestly, it's the fact that he actually like says that out loud is like a beautiful thing. Like, I mean, that's just as open as it gets from talking about your feelings. So I don't know.
I agree, 100%.
Yep.
He's an extremely emotionally open person, and to be fair, let's think about it. Episode 1 was 99/02/05, right? Natalie Portman looks the same right now as she did
that's
in
true.
2005. So when we talk about aging, you're exactly the way I remember you in my dreams. Like, she still looks the same.
Yeah.
It's been 18 years. She looks the exact same. So good on you for that one. But I'm just saying, like, this young gentleman has been through some of the most difficult things you could ever ask of a young man who's already had a hard life to begin with. Now you're tearing him away from your mom. You're putting him through rigorous training. You put him through the trials of the Jedi. You're putting him in combat. And the only thing he has to hold on to in his mind is his mom and Padme. And he's thinking about Padme constantly. And he's thinking about his mom constantly. And you can go into like why that affects stuff later. But I mean, of course, how he's shaking and nervous in the elevator. It's like, these are the only two things that have kept me going for how many years. And now I'm about to stand in front of one of them. It's like being a huge Metallica fan. And for 18 years, all you could dream about is, meeting one of them. And then they're about to be right there. Yeah. What are you going to say? Like, holy crap. Like, I'm so nervous. Like, you just how I pictured you, man. Like,
X-Wing just brought up one of my favorite like scenes that are like in the prequels, like the elevator scene with like Obi-Wan and Anakin. It's just like the pure, like, I don't know, deep dive into the connection between Obi-Wan and Anakin that we get in just this one scene with Anakin being all nervous and Obi-Wan like kind of like, it's the first time we see Obi-Wan as this master figure, and the way he's like, calm yourself.
Stop, bro. Just stop.
What I think is weird too is in our culture, I don't know if it's still a thing, but girls always want to, like, they're always like, well, what are you thinking? Like, they're like, guys never express how they're feeling, because look what happens when they do.
Yeah.
Like, they're just shut
You're
down.
crazy.
Yeah, like, you guys can't have feelings and be man up. But like X-Wing was saying, men have emotions and that's okay. And Anakin's a strong man who expresses emotions, and he gets the girl. I mean, he puts a ring on it. They have kids. Like, I don't see the problem. Like, it obviously worked out for him. And maybe if other men shared how they actually felt and told girls, like, hey, like, I've actually been thinking about you, I think you're beautiful, our world would probably look a lot different.
So you're saying be more like Anakin?
Yeah.
I would say, okay, hold on. Let's take that with a grain of salt.
Just be careful.
Don't be
with
Darth
your kids.
Vader.
Let's not be so
children.
emotional that when we get upset, we choke our wives to death. I feel like there's two sides to that
But
coin
that's
for
Darth
sure.
Vader. That's Darth Vader. Anakin.
Oh, that's funny.
Yes, they're the same person, but before he turns evil.
X-Wing high five.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, geez.
Let me read these two, and then we're actually gonna do a giveaway. So excited for this. Padawannabe says it's creepy to say the line just by itself, or if the other person is not interested. There's always a connection, since that has a more intimate, or that makes it more intimate, I think. So out of context, yes, of course, it sounds creepy. Yeah, again, Deep Dive had brought up early on context.
Context is important.
Yes.
Mhm.
I still just don't even feel like it's an overtly creepy line. Like,
I don't either.
believe me, I could just wish away my feelings. Like, if I
Yeah.
could, I just would. I don't feel like that's like well, the way he presents it is
Was it
fairly forceful.
Charlie says, again, broken record, nothing wrong with it. Think about it. The slave child grows up fighting for 10 years with pent up horror. Of course he would say that. Plus he doesn't know how to talk to loved ones.
Mhm.
Yeah. He doesn't know how to talk to ladies.
Yeah.
Or
It's
just
true.
people in general, you know.
So his mother did teach him how to express love.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I think it's, I mean, when you think about it, he started, you know, really getting into like kind of a peak childhood, like as a preteen. Like really, he is thrown into like intense physical combat training and being told to shut down emotionally, and
Mhm.
so it's like a lot of it makes sense.
Yep.
It really does. Okay, so what I want to do one more time is I want to talk about our giveaway that's coming up, just because I want to make sure that for those of you who weren't here, there is a giveaway, and I am super excited for this. I seem to have clicked off of the thing, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to share, just showing you what we're giving away. Clicked off the actual comic that you could actually like see what it is. But this is what we're giving away right here. The Jedi Council Acts of War. This is a 4-part Dark Horse comic series that came out in 2000, and it covers like a year before episode 1.
Bro, that artwork is so sick.
Yeah, and dude, there's like, these are just the covers. So like check this out. Like, this is nice. Yeah.
Hey,
so
look,
you
this is the guy from Mandalorian. Oh no, wait, that's Luke.
And yeah, dude, it's super cool. But then you can kind of get a glance of, you know, it's like high action, but then there's also a lot of dialogue. You get some Qui-Gon in here, so you get to see some behind the scenes stuff. So a lot of cool stuff. So basically, what this is it's Sidious trying to create a disconnect between the Republic and Chancellor Valorum, and using the Jedi Council to do so. So what we are going to do is have you type in master without the quotations into the chat to enter this giveaway. Even the panelists here can join. And we asked before, what should the word be, the keyword? And master was chosen because Anakin never got the rank of master.
Poor Annie.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
lowercase or certain way.
Let's see. If you can, try and do all lowercase. I see a whole bunch of people here, so I just want to make sure that is what is going on.
Damn it, Strike, you broke me. I'm going to be laughing about that out of nowhere later.
All right. So I want to make sure, since there's a smaller group of people here, I want to make sure that that everybody is entered who is interested. I know Nightbot can easily like skip over some people sometimes, and I just want to make sure all of you guys have a free.
Make sure
or a good
anybody
chance.
who wants to be in this, make sure you're typing something, not just the word, but be active in the chat. That's what Nightbot looks for.
Yep, Nightbot does a little bit of both. Yep, and I think Christopher is just he's watching like the I think he's like DVR'd it. So hello, Christopher. Yes, he was trolling that article.
He did troll us pretty good.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I look like I got a good little group here. Everybody that's put it in is showing up. Okay, so we're gonna have Nightbot roll this baby, and let's see who wins this. Here we go. Should pop up any second now for you guys in the chat. And
Padawannabe.
Padawannabe. Congrats. Get some
Let's go.
claps going on. Congratulations, man. That's so awesome. So you are in the Discord, so just make sure that you connect with us there, and we will get shipping information, all of that, and send it off to you. There's actually 4 issues to this, and we're going to give you all 4. It comes in this nice all-in-one, which is really, really cool. So what we're going to do just for these last few moments here, you know what? We'll just do this. I think X-Wing's pooping or something. I don't know where he ran off to.
Why would you say that?
It's a fuel dump.
Yeah.
No, he's probably searching for the guy that wrote the article.
Yeah, he's
probably.
We'll find you. But yeah, this is we'll close up in a second. This is like our 1,000 sub stream. Honestly, we didn't expect any of this. When we first started the channel, I was like, should I put sub goals in? We're like, yeah, sure. We're like, we'll never even hit one. But for us, we're like, if we ever do pick up Steam, you know, we're thinking like years, maybe we could start getting like just kind of little goals for us. But like we already hit them, and it's all thanks to everyone here. This is like super cool. Love that people are interested in talking Star Wars with us. Like it's seriously a lot of fun. Met a lot of really cool people.
Mm-hmm.
How's your poop, man?
No, I'm sorry. I have a friend coming in. I have a friend coming into town shortly.
No, I'm just messing with you. But yeah, so this is really cool. Essentially, kind of where our mindset is right now. We're going to be doing some more streams coming up. And for one reason, just so you guys know, we'll always be fully transparent about our channel, and we are just trying to get monetized right now. That face, you're like, what are you talking about? But we're trying to get monetized so we can do bigger, cooler giveaways. And so we can actually free up more time to do more streams and make more videos and all sorts of stuff, higher production quality, all that. And so you'll see more streams from us so we can get those watch hours up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because that is a big hurdle. Like those are, you gotta be doing some stuff.
And our shorts don't count.
Yeah, shorts do not count for watch hours. But
Makes sense.
Yeah,
The more
but
people in though, it's good. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
But obviously for everybody here watching it live or later, understand it never started about anything other than Star Wars, and it never will be about anything other than Star Wars. And so just understand, like, we're gonna always be the same people, you know. And yeah, this is super cool. But why don't we go around? You guys can let people know if they don't know what you have coming up or something, and I'll try and assist Matt Cave, the master mod, getting some links in the chat.
Well, before they say what they're doing, why don't we go around and say why we like their channels and we plug them?
Okay, cool. Look at you, so kind, so kind.
Why isn't she running the show all the time? We're always seeing your mustachy butt up there.
That's a great question. I just pull up articles that make us all angry. She's like, let's encourage one another. Cool. Well, Yeah. I really like Strike. Obviously, like I really like you on like live streams and everything, getting to chat with you. But going through some of your stop motion stuff you've done, and then like
Dude.
your kind of like
Very
chill
cool.
Lego builds
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. Like I'm really interested in Star Wars Legos,
Mm-hmm.
and so like that's been really cool for me to like learn more about that because I have so many questions.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been cool to have like someone that I can look to that it's like, okay, I know like you legitimately like Star Wars and Legos, and I don't have to like is there like a sponsorship that's like influencing stuff? Like you're
Definitely
like
not.
There should be.
Yeah,
there should, but like you've even said stuff where you're like, oh yeah, this is cool, but like there's this older set, like you know a lot of stuff about
Mhm.
Lego, and dude, it's cool.
And just your creativity, like I said on the last stream we were on, like how you just created that your own blaster from all these random parts. Like that's just super cool that you were able to think of that, but then to share that. So and I love your stop motion. I love your streams too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, Mr. Strike, anything you have coming up?
Well, yeah. First of all, thank you very much. I'm blushing. No. I do have stuff coming up. As mentioned earlier, I did hit 100 subs, so I'm doing a special.
Yeah, nice.
And
Spicy
people
stuff.
have peer pressured me to do something with hot chilies, and yeah, I gotta think of something to do with that.
Do it.
But I am going to do it. But yeah, other than that, I do have some custom builds coming up, and
Awesome.
yeah, fun
That's
stuff.
cool, man. Yeah, look at Mrs. Nerd networking like a boss. That's awesome. Average. These prequels sound cool. I thought you wrote the article. Exposed. Probably won't be as good as the sequels, but I'll give them a try. You never fail.
Okay, Matt Cave.
Never fail.
You can start.
Okay, yeah. Matt Cave. I think if I haven't said it out loud, I've definitely thought, like, man, Matt Cave would be like so cool to have as my dad.
Boy crush.
Like.
You're not that far apart.
No, we're not that far.
I'm the old man on the stream right now.
No, it's the age difference definitely is not that big. But what I like is like you have a bunch of like really cool retro game content.
Mhm.
Like it's a lot of fun, especially like you just did like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and that was super fun to watch you play these
That was
really
fun.
really hard
I'm
games.
so glad you got pizza during that. It's awesome.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Killer.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
so
you introduced me to more of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because I think Chase told you like I hadn't ever watched it, and I was like, "Why does he keep talking about pizza? I want pizza now."
I was cracking up with that.
But I love your channel because I love that you're just like man cave, Matt cave, and it's just like the nerdy things that you love, and you just share them with people, and even like your Discord, like Chase said, he's always playing your
watch
parties. Like I love it all, and I think you have a really cool, I guess, niche where it's not all Star Wars because it's you're the Matt cave and Star Wars is included in that. And so I think I really like the way your channel and your community is set up.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, cowabunga.
Cowabunga.
Dude, honestly, I don't know what it is. Like over the past probably 4 weeks, I've been playing Tarzan Boy, which is the ending song to the live action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie where they go to Japan and then they come back. It drive me nuts.
That's funny.
So you popped on Mutant Ninja Turtles the other day, and I was just hooked. I feel like I'm sitting on a couch with you.
Yeah.
While your stream is going on, like we're just homies hanging out, like playing some old games. It's killer.
You're always welcome in the Matt Cave.
Yeah, for real. So, what do you have coming up, Mr. Matt Cave?
Well, as we draw closer to November, I'm going to be heading in the direction of Ghostbusters content.
Nice.
So I will be streaming Ghostbusters 2 from the NES real soon. Everyone talks about the first game, but that second game needs a lot more love.
Cool.
Nice.
That's awesome. And I think we're just going to end the stream here.
No.
See you guys. Have a good night, y'all.
Yeah, Mr. X-Wing. I don't care. I am biased. I like you a lot, man. Yeah, it's cool. you have a lot of stuff going on. I mean, even from the beginning, you've just your streams and like involving the community, which is a really risky thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Even, you know, very much like an EBN model, like putting stuff out there for people to join and stuff. That's been really cool because you get it's not like canned, and you get to meet like a lot of cool people, and
Mm-hmm.
like always, whether it's I'm laughing or I'm getting fired up about something, it's always like I'm engaged,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and so that's cool. And you're collecting stuff. Like
Mhm.
you're like a genius at knowing where to find collecting stuff on a
Mhm.
budget. Like, yeah, it's nuts because I'll be looking at stuff and I'm like, okay, I'm really getting into like Phantom Menace toys and like I want to get this, but then I'm like, I'm gonna go broke trying to get all this stuff. But you know, all these like little like back doors to get
Hacks.
Not
stuff.
with Phantom Menace stuff, bro. You want to go broke? Let's talk some OT collectibles. Like,
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
What I really like about your channel, X-Wing, is I love the collectibles and the toys because that's like newer stuff to me, and I think, I just think you have such a cool collection and you know what you're doing, and so many people want that. Like Chase said, people want to collect that they don't know how or they don't have the money, and so it's cool
Mhm.
that you're actually giving back to the community and saying, here's a way you can do it and be a part of it. So I really like that, and I like just how good you are at community and like creating a family. So that's super cool, and I don't think that's normal. I think that's definitely like a gifting that you have, is making people feel welcome and a part of something bigger than themselves, a part of a family. So yeah.
thank you.
That's awesome.
What do you have
Man.
coming up?
You always have something coming up. Always. What are you
Yeah,
most
I don't know.
excited for in the
Next week.
next few weeks or so?
Talking to Dennis Lawson
Oh, very cool.
for sure.
Awesome.
It's been a tough setup. So I got to talk to Mark Anthony Austin, obviously,
Mhm.
you know, ILM royalty, which was absolutely amazing. Dennis Lawson's a different deal. That's Wedge Antilles. It's a little harder to get a hold of that guy. So I've been working on it a little bit. Obviously, Charlie, thank you. Yes, we're working on it right now. There's some back and forth. It's tough because they're in the UK, obviously. But yeah, that's something I'm really looking forward to. Obviously, I'm doing my R2 build. I'm working on that. I
I
got
just
the
watched
first
that today.
dude, I just got these electronics and like they spared no expense in making sure everything is
It's so cool.
it's looking good, man. And it's
Mhm.
gonna be a two-year probably journey before it's done.
Nice.
But I mean, when this thing's built, it moves left, right, upside down, around. It talks to you, the head spins. I just installed the central bearing for it. I mean, it does everything. It even has a hollow projector. So it can walk up to a wall and you hit a button and it says, "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi," and it shows Leia on the wall doing the
That's so
hologram.
cool.
Like,
Man.
I am super pumped about that.
That's
But
awesome.
other than that, yeah, I'd love to make some more collecting videos. Something I've dealt with that two nerds, you've helped me quite a bit, is that everybody has collecting videos. There's 10 trillion collecting videos on the internet, but nobody does it like, hey, if you're poor, hit the subscribe button.
Right.
Oh, you know what you could say? You could say collecting it is expensive, but subscribing is free.
There you go.
There
I like
you go.
that. That's pretty
There you
good.
go.
See,
That's pretty good.
This is why. This is why.
This is
This
why.
is why. This is the way.
I'll just take a royalty.
Yeah, he's gonna put 15
Right.
cents every time I put a video out. 15 cents a
As
view.
soon as you get monetized, I want my paycheck.
I just
Oh,
wanted
that's
to. So, same as you guys. Like the reason I want to get monetized is because I want to do charity streams. I think it'd be so
Yeah.
much fun to do charity streams. And Justin and I did one. We raised like 2.2 or 2.3 grand for St. Jude's, which was absolutely awesome. But YouTube doesn't let you actually do it until you're at 10,000. So you have to use third party. But even still, it's easier if you're monetized. People can do super chats and stuff. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it definitely streamlines it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
especially for a good cause, it just makes it a lot easier. And I was there for part of it and seen. I mean, it started like $500 was the goal,
Mhm.
I think that was initially, and it just kept going up and up and up and up.
And I didn't even have to lose my comic.
Oh man, yeah.
I put like one of my $300 comics up for like $100, and nobody bid on it. And I'm like, take it down, take it down.
That's funny. That's awesome. Yeah, charity stream. I'm in for that. That's awesome, man. Cool. Well, thank you guys for being here. I know we started with the bigger panel, but life calls and
You
totally
answered.
cool. And yeah, thanks so much. This has been a lot of fun. I know you guys didn't even know we were going to be defending the lines from the prequels. I feel like we've all cooled down a little bit from that segment.
Your streams are always so much fun, man.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, we're getting heated up about this, and I know we're holding back.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point in time, you're always prepared to defend the prequels. At this point, you're just set up like, oh yeah, I heard this. Okay, so this is
Part
why
of
it's
our
wrong.
life.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, so what we actually have going on this upcoming week is our son's first birthday, actually. And so we kind of have like a vacation week. So we're still gonna be like in the Discord every now and then, but everything will kind of be scheduled out. And so we are kind of around.
He's
but we're
having a
kinda
Star
not.
Wars birthday party though.
Yeah, we're giving him a Star Wars birthday party.
Yeah.
What's the date?
His
actual
birthday is Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Is it coming Wednesday? I can't ship anything that quickly.
Well, his party's on Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it's super cool. So life is he's taking better naps and sleeping kind of. So that'll be part of streaming more.
Don't worry, that'll go away.
Yeah. And so yeah, and there's some cool stuff. Like we're gonna be picking up Lego Star Wars again. I'm probably gonna be doing some solo streams of just some different games that I have Star Wars related. One I've been really wanting to do. Two of them is actually Empire at War, that real-time strategy Star Wars game, and also I have a copy of the Revenge of the Sith Game Boy Advanced game.
Oh my god, that was my game.
Yeah.
I was just talking to somebody about that the other day.
Dude, it's so good. It's so good. And so that's the stuff I'm looking forward to, is get into some of these older Star Wars games too, be a lot of fun.
And we did next week we're working on a video with X-Wing for EBN TV.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yep. So
Dude, recommendation, by the way, if you're getting it off Steam, if you're going to do Empire at War, you have to download
the pack.
Hold on. Because I have it downloaded right here. Empire at War.
For poor, no.
Oh, the mod. You're talking about a mod, huh?
Yeah, it's a mod, and basically you can do Clone Wars era content with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's Venators and CIS ships, and it's so much. I'm not going to say it's so much cooler because I love the OT stuff, but just like the updated graphics, and I'm a Venator guy. I just love Venators.
Yeah.
I just love Venators. So like having the CI, you can recreate the battle over Coruscant like to the T, and just
that's so cool.
You get everything set up, you send your Venators in, and you hit like F3 and it goes to cinematic mode, and I've sat there for like 4 hours just like
nice.
Drink a beer,
so awesome.
Watching the Battle of Coruscant. I love it.
There you go. That's a good way to get some watch hours up. Just
I should do that. Yeah, there you go. Do a live stream.
Start it off and let the stream run.
Yep.
That's so cool. Well, thank you everybody, and even all of you in the chat that have come, and for those of you watching it on replay, if you make it all the way to the end, you're a real one, man. That's awesome. Watch a DVR stream. So with that, this has been a lot of fun, and you guys enjoy the rest of your week. See you.